little late. I had to drive home really fast from the pie tasting, which I'll review. But I'll give people a few minutes to tune in whilst I get. Oh, wow. If this fucking mic doesn't work, I'm going to be okay. Can you hear me talking now? I feel like I'm nothing without this mic. I feel like I'm just going to have to play pretend. Oh my God. What am I going to do, you guys? I'm going to have to, this is the thing about show business. It's like, this is how people get caught lip syncing is, the technical malfunctions, and you just have to kind of roll on with the show. I know if Taylor Swift were sitting here right now, she'd roll on with the show. So I think that's what we're going to have to do. I'm just going to have this on here. No, okay. Let's try one more time. One more time. I don't know. I have a good feeling this time that it's going to work. And you never know. I was like, should I try to clean it? I mean, the cord appears as though it is intact. However, I did do one of these because you just never know. Okay, let's try again. If this doesn't work, then I give up. Has just decided not to work on me. What do you guys think I should do? Do you think I should exit the live and come? Maybe I can talk a little bit louder. I feel like I'm more ASMR-y, okay. All right. That's on my own time. This is your time. Well, it's always my time, but so anyway, I had to go into the gas station, get a bottle of wine that was less than $10 because this is honestly just a prop at this point. It's not even recording sound, but I'm so used to it. I feel like I can't. I can't move on unless I'm at least, appearing as though I have the mic. Yeah, so as I was saying, just scream. The mic takes a while to stay off. Yeah, this thing's not on. But yeah, it's difficult being a girly with good taste, and you have to settle for a bottle of wine that isn't necessarily, you know, queen worthy. I'm a vineyard girl. I've been to a lot of vineyards. I'm not trying to showboat, but I have made it a point to learn about wine and visit vineyards, vineyards aplenty, and this is not fine wine, but, you know, girl's got to do what she's got to do to get by, and I'm spending a lot of money on getting gear for the PCT. I only drink water from melted glaciers. Oh yeah, everyone like even I was one of those people. Like I said, whenever I talk minimalism and stuff like that, don't let me fool you, because I like the finer things. I'm a person that goes from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10 like very easily. But hi James. Yeah. So I was one of those girls who was convinced that the Fiji water tasted, you know, the best, even though it was $4 for a bottle of water. I liked I think a lot of girls can probably speak for this. I don't know about the men, but I like the shape of the Fiji water. I feel like it fits nice in your hand. It's not tall and fucking, you know, crazy like the smart waters are. I feel like I like a nice bottle, size, shape, and logo. I mean, it's all about appealing to the senses. And I feel like Fiji water did that, and that's why it sold a shit ton. So, you know. Yeah, this is a time right now, and I'll get into the Amish pie tour and elite minimalist. Please, boys, please make me laugh today, because like I teeter on days like this, you know. I'm assuming we're all single in here, or else we would be doing something. You know, I would hope that we would be doing something. On days like this, you know, it reminds you of things, and I don't get, you know, woe is me about my life, because my life is not that bad. I'm in a lot of pain, you know, I'm dealing with that. I've been dealing with that for years. That's my woe is me right now. If that was fixed, I'd be fine. But like I said, this is nothing necessarily new. So on days like this, I'm perfectly fine. This is my, okay, what number Valentine's Day is this for you guys being single? This Valentine's Day is my 4th being single. And I was, you know, I just didn't want to stay at home. I forget what I did last year. I was like, I honestly forget what I did the last 2 years. I think 1 year I made candles. I tried to do cutesy things. A lot of things just cost money, you know. So for like a semi-unemployed woman, you have to, forever single, Tony, forever single. I think you were a little happy already. The $9 wine helps. Like I said, if times are tough, I'll guzzle the Everclear. I will. Be my Valentine. Okay. All right. My wife's boyfriend took her out for Valentine's Day, and they locked me in a cage for the night. They locked you up. I know that's what it metaphorically feels like, you know, because you're not really, it's not necessarily it is by choice. Let me rephrase that. It's always kind of by choice. If you guys have attended my gentleman's school, there is a formula that works 90% of the time. However, if you are a dude, you know, not all of us can be beautiful. You know, not all of us can be beautiful. But I feel a well-kept man can certainly be appealing to some women. Certainly, you know. And if you're a well-kept man and you have some decent social skills, there's hope. You know, there's hope. There's a formula. So if we're sitting at home, you know, single or whatever, like, it's probably by choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have goals in mind for people that have been on my live streams before. I plan on doing these 3 through hikes, which is interesting to think about right now because my foot really hurts. But you cannot be in a relationship and be gone, 5 months out of the year. You just can't. And not that these fucking things are going to take me 5 months. Maybe the continental divide. I haven't looked into that one yet. I'm not looking too far ahead. But how are you supposed to even get to know somebody when you're off grid in the woods? You just fucking can't. It's so hard. Okay, let me... I want this one to be a little bit more engaging versus me just sitting here talking about myself. So I'm going to make an effort to be more engaging with the comments. Okay, I'm scrolling. I just drink the crazy water. Yeah, the elite minimalist comment. That was, I had the elite minimalist comment got me. Call me on my own shit. I'm not too proud. Pringle team captain. Okay, now I'm thinking about Pringles. Certainly ain't that Fiji water. Yeah, Fiji water was elite. If you were carrying around one of those waters, like people automatically assumed like, oh, that person, she's got money. She can afford to spend that extra $2. You getting drunk? I possibly might. Last time I didn't think that I was going to, and then I went downstairs for another glass. I fucking filled this one up because I didn't want to have to interrupt the live stream for a refill. But I know that, this isn't the way that this is not a correct serving size. Yes, ma'am, I'll be telling my wife how much I love. Aw, the weird little things she does. Perfect. Yeah, this is your day to step up. It's late now. Like I said, I feel like we're probably all single. I'm a fan of like making a morning elaborate. I am a morning person. I'd rather have a daytime thing happening versus a nighttime thing. However, I feel like this is probably the one day out of the year I would want to go out to like an actual nice dinner. And at least, when it's kind of like dark outside, because I feel like that's kind of like smoldering. And it just kind of puts like a sexy vibe in the air. It's hard to get the sexy vibe going when it's light outside. I feel like that feels fun and flirty to me. That feels energizing. That feels, all the feels that I normally want to feel. However, when it's dark, I feel like that reeks seduction to me. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a man try to seduce me. But if I did, the darkness, the dusk, it's giving all the feels. It's giving romance. Fourth. Let's see. I don't do Valentine's Day because it's really Lupercalia, worship of pain. I'll have to look that up. I don't know what Lupercalia, whatever that dude said. Okay. Does Jamie love me? Okay, my first initial reaction is that if you have to ask, maybe not. But I'm a nice person. I always say, yes. Everclear. Hunch Punch. Do we all not remember Hunch Punch? If there's other millennials in here at least. I don't know if Gen X got to experience Hunch Punch. It is we didn't have, I don't know where like Gen Z is getting their money, but I was like, we were like poor millennials. And maybe that's just like our generation as we were going through like poor times. And, we had to settle for Smirnoff. And if anyone had Grey Goose around, it was like, oh, like that felt very elite. Whereas I feel like the Gen Z now is like, that's, they're not drinking unless they have the best. And I was like, we champed it out. You'll see the reels on Instagram. I was like, we had to make do with what we had. And if what we had, oh God, I remember I could go on for stories, but I was down to party every weekend, and that meant grain alcohol. That meant grain alcohol on my budget. and those like malt beverages. And I was just I was with a guy 3 years ago that he was drinking all the malt beverages from the gas stations, and it just brought me back to those days. And I was like, oh, this tastes pretty good. And then I started getting like the worst hangovers of my life. And I was like, actually, this is a bunch of shit. I was like, I can't believe I was drinking 3 of those, 3 or 4 of those at a time back in the day. I was like, this doesn't feel good anymore. It's the aging process, I suppose, too. But I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I know that they're $2 a piece and it's a cheap drunk. But this doesn't taste good anymore. This doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good the day after. I was like, and then I had to stop, and then he kept doing it. And then I found out that he was like an alcoholic, and I guess, alcoholics really don't care. Whereas I actually care about the taste. I call $9 wine Monopoly wine. They left me some dog shit for dinner. Oh, that's not, doesn't sound tasty. The dog is pissed because he can't be in the room with you. Oh, you hear the dog? Okay, this dog, he goes in and out and in and out. Hold on a second. Little Poopsies, come here. All right, come here. Oh my goodness. Well, if you're gonna come in, then you're gonna have to commit. Yeah, that's my Valentine. Actually, Scully really actually likes me. He gets all stiff. He's all anxious right now. Yeah, I know. He sleeps with me. It's kind of nice because I get all the perks without any of the responsibility. He just went under the bed. I don't really have to take care of him. I just get to enjoy him, which is, I feel like my motto in life is that I don't want to own anything. I don't want to take care of much. I have trouble taking care of myself, but I can enjoy other people's things. And that's the beauty of, if you have friendships and networks, you can literally have all of the perks without spending money. Luna. You can have all of the perks of having a pseudo family without having to do shit. All right, Scully. You gotta make a decision. Oh my God. Like, he literally can't make a decision. It's frustrating. At night I have to leave the door open because all throughout the night he goes back between my mom, who sleeps in the basement. The basement is like her area, and then like the top floor is like my area. And he goes back and forth. So yeah, let me get through these. Get a real dog, not a... Actually, you know what? I used to have my dog that I had in this life. And I'll never get another dog. But he was a basset hound, and I had him for 10 years. And he was a lot to take care of. If anyone has had hounds on here, hounds are notoriously hard to take care of. And thanks, Luna. And like, he was never like fully potty trained, which is crazy because I spent so many hours watching The Dog Whisperer, and I tried to do all of the things that the Dog Whisperer would do. None of them would fucking work. The only thing that worked is he would do tricks for treats. So I taught him how to, like, you know, the basic things. It was really cute when he rolled over because he looked like a big hot dog. But it was like earth shattering, like when he died. And if anyone here has been through like a dog death, it's like the worst thing in the world. And I was like, I'm not going through that again. Like, I know that it's better to have loved and lost than to have never have loved at all. But in that respect, I am not owning another dog. And it is really kind of like sweet when a dog like chooses you. And I feel like Scully chooses me. I feel like it's unhealthy if like and I've seen a lot of people do this, like they try to replace people with dogs or animals, and I think that that's really unhealthy. And I can see how that happens, especially for me being, solo for all this time, like to have a dog that like wants to spend time with you. Yeah, it feels fucking nice. It feels nice when no one else feels like they want to spend time with you. So I was like, I can understand that, but I don't want to slip into, like I just said, I can't take care of anything anyway. I'm not suited. I'm not suited. But I don't think that he's an ankle biter. He's a sweet dog. I think it doesn't matter the size. Like I said, I had a 70-pound dog. That was mine. Hi, Ruben. You hear that dog barking? Boy, he didn't. Yeah, he's probably still sitting outside the door right now. I need to have the door closed because I don't want my mom and fucking her boyfriend to hear what I'm talking about on here. I want my privacy. That damn money always out of... You can make enough out of... Single and ready to mingle. Okay, I think I scrolled up enough. I'm not sure. Okay. Maybe not. Oh my gosh. I missed a lot. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Scully likes me. You want to know why? Because I give calm energy. His real owner does not give calm energy. And the dog himself has neurotic energy. So he's flocking to me versus another neurotic energy. That's my take. Encourage more viewers to share. Yeah, share the live. We're going to get into the nitty gritty here soon. This is me warming up. We're warming up here. Where do I sign up? Who pays? Who pays the taxes? Trust me, it's not a situation I wanted to be in for as long as I have. I've been traveling a lot and blowing my money that I had saved up from my job. And I'll be gone for 5 months. So I think that what will work for me in order to complete these through hikes is I need to couch surf, which apparently I saw something come through on my Instagram the other day, and it was like the definition of homeless, and they were like educating that like apparently couch surfing is homeless. And I was like, I guess I'm kind of semi-homeless. But it ain't me paying the taxes, if that was the question. No taxes. I'd fix your faucet even when it don't leak. Do you get more philosophical? I love it. This is what my sister does a lot. Oh my God. On another cast, occasionally a friend of mine will drop in, and my sister got on the cast, and I don't know what fucking shit I was saying. I think I was thinking I was occasionally, actually not occasionally, half the time I think I'm being like profound on here, and I forget what I was even talking about. And my sister got on, and she's like such a visionary. Just like fucking like that shit gets me belly laughing. Sometimes I don't even realize it when I'm starting to do it. So when somebody calls me out, it's funny. I suppose so. You know what? It actually goes the opposite way. The more I drink, the less philosophical I am because I'm not in my own head anymore. You drug me in any sense. Like I said, I have a wild, I only did ecstasy once. I don't know what the difference is between ecstasy and Molly. I have no fucking idea. But I did it once. Crazy. And there's a science behind it. But you drug me with it. You give me a weed gummy. Weird. I get a little weird. The Molly experience, I thought I was the most hilarious person that ever fucking lived. I thought I was fucking hilarious. I thought I was sexy, which is not a feeling I have very often. I felt like every dude wanted me. I felt like, with the trail name Forest Queen, I felt like I was literally queening, the club. And I'll give you guys a little taste of the story. But I did it at a festival, and we went to a club afterwards. And, you know, lots of details I could give you in between there and then. But at the club, I think this was the funniest moment of it all, is I just turned the VIP area into a catwalk. I was like, it was like a snap decision, like, okay, Lauren, you're gonna catwalk. So I catwalked, you know, the VIP. And there was a lot of like single dudes up there, and I was like, I just got it in my head, I'm gonna cheer these guys up. So I went to every single man in that VIP area, and I did a dance. I don't think it was a sexy dance, from what I can recall. I don't think I was trying to be that sexy. I just thought, hey, I'm going to get some laughs. And I did. And I did. And I was like, oh my God, I felt, now he's pawing at the door again. I thought, this is fucking wonderful. And I forget what I said. I think my friend's friend asked me how I was doing, and I was like, I think I'm on top of the world. I was like, I think I'm super funny. And then he looked at me, and then he's like, I think you're hilarious. And I just looked at him like it was, it felt very nice. It was a very nice thing for him to say. And when you don't get complimented that often, you know, it really means something when somebody pays you a fucking compliment. I think that's like the best compliment that you could give me, is like, oh, you're funny. I already know that I'm cute. I still want to be told I'm cute. I think every girl wants to be told that they're cute, but we all know looks fade. But you know what doesn't have to fade? Humor. I was like, your body can deteriorate, and I've been humbled since I've had this foot injury. The body might fade, the looks fade, but personality doesn't. And so like any compliment that can make somebody feel like they have a good personality, it was really special to me. My God, the dogs are pawing at the fucking door, man. Oh my God. Let me go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, come in then. Oh my God. Oh my God, little Scully. Oh my gosh. Just relax. Just relax. Well, come here then. All right, I'm unsure what to do about the dog situation. Every time I let him in here, he paused to get out because he wants attention from me, I guess. And then I let him outside of the door, and then he comes back, pawing at. Now he's pawing the door again. Like I said, the dog is anxious himself. He has anxious energy. Okay. A Leon Burger. I've never heard of those. And I've been to a plenty of dog parks, and everyone loves to talk about the fucking breed and guess it. If anyone's been to a fucking dog park, everyone loves to fucking guess breeds at the dog park. It's like a game. And I miss the dog parks. The dog parks were a ton of fun. Oh my God. He can't make a decision. My mom had to let him out of the room. Drink some wine with me. Yeah, everyone grab a glass. Skull's his camera shy. Yeah, I tried to put him on camera. He was all like stiff and shit. I guess he doesn't. All right. I'm not above pity laughs. I'll take it. I'm not above it either. You know, when I do that'll be quite a time, you guys. I was just thinking about this today, like my stand-up. I've been so afraid to message the dude who approached me about it on Facebook, because like that'll probably be like one of the scariest things I ever fucking do. Like I said, I'm not a public speaker, but you get a lot of actually like shy people that can do stand up very well, because they're holding a lot like inside. And so you give them a stage such as this, you know, you get to see like the real them. and they don't feel scared about what comes out of their mouth because they already know whoever's there is there for a reason. You know, if you go to a comedy show, it's like, you better, you know, you better expect that a lot of like candid off collar things are going to be talked about, and you're there for that, and you're all about it. You don't have to worry about like offending people at a fucking stand-up comedy show. Whereas like in regular life, I worry sometimes that my personality will offend people. And I've been thinking about that lately too, as I put more and more of my videos on Facebook. I have family members that are on Facebook, and they're not the type of family members that would be cool with how I'm presenting myself. And, you know, there's probably a lot of like low-key judgment going on. Whereas at a comedy show, like, you just already know the judgment's out the door. So who knows? I might turn into another fucking an amped up version of what I'm giving on here, which would be kind of interesting for me to play with. It's like, okay, let's not leave that stone unturned. And I'm very much a big fan of like, no, turn over the fucking stone, which is why I've gotten myself into so much trouble. It's because I keep turning over stones. And no, do I have regrets? Oh yeah, I mean, I have one regret. The guy who took all my fucking money. I feel like, but however, if I had not been with that dude, and I had not had the stressful job I had after that, if I hadn't had been allowed, this is where I get philosophical, if I hadn't had been allowed to hit rock bottom, then I wouldn't have like seen the light. But there's a, you know, there's a price to be paid for that, because if you see the light at fucking 37, then the rest of your life, I feel like seeing the light maybe is just meant for people in their 60s and 70s, because now that I feel like I've seen the light, I can't unsee it. However, it's an opportunity for me to live my life more authentically the rest of my life. Like with this foot pain, it's the trifecta. It was that dude I was with, the ketamine job, and now my foot injury. It was like a trifecta of shit. And it allowed me to hit rock bottom. And now that I've seen and I have felt what rock bottom feels like, and I'm still feeling remnants of it, but I've talked on here before, it basically catapults you into like an old soul. And not that I wasn't an old soul before. I think I've always been a little bit of an old soul. I was very close with my grandparents. I've been around a lot of older people in my life. That was the majority of my nursing career. I connect, because I feel like they have a lot of wisdom. I haven't been around many kids in my life. I hang around old people. That's what I like to do. Because I feel like they're candid, because guess what? They don't care what people think anymore. And now I'm at that level. Maybe I care a little bit. I think you should still care a little bit, but I think that, I'm at the point where I'm making decisions for me. And if that disappoints other people, I feel like a lot of people in my life don't understand, because they know the quiet Lauren, the Lauren that did the things she was supposed to do to make it, in this world. And then I said, fuck it. But if you haven't, it's like walking in somebody else's shoes. If you haven't had this like injury, if you haven't like worked in mental health, if you haven't been through an abusive relationship, and you put three of those together, everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own like woes. That's like my claim to fame with like hitting rock bottom. But if you haven't experienced those things yourself, it's very hard to understand. And people my own age are having trouble understanding me because they haven't been through those things yet. And I hope that they never do. But it has made me feel like I need to live each and every day to the best that I can, and put emphasis on the right things in life. And I'm living life a little less shallow. I think it's fun to be a little shallow sometimes because it's funny, but deep down, like, I have a sense of it. This is, where hitting rock bottom comes in. You know that everything could be taken away from you tomorrow. So you don't want to waste anything. And if there's goals that I want to do that I would feel unsatisfied with, like if I died tomorrow and I didn't get to do the PCT trail, I would feel like I lived a life unfinished. And I want to do, like I said, I want to do all three of them. I feel like that's my calling. And by the way, I found out, I was Googling yesterday because I'm reading this forest bathing book. And apparently you can be like a certified forest guide. And you do it online, which of course equals more money, but it's actually not that bad. You do it online for the most part, and then you spend an immersion week in Japan. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like totally up my alley. So when I start the whole pie in the sky biz, I can hit the ground running with my business. And in the meantime, I need to take a wilderness medicine course. I'm already a nurse, but apparently I'm a nurse practitioner, but apparently that doesn't count. I'm sure there's a lot different in the wilderness than it is in a clinic setting. So I'm going to have to learn that. And what else? I have to pay each national park a fee to apply for the permit and hopefully get the permit to be a guide in a national park. I was like, oh my God. I was like, can't I just do this without doing all of that? But even to advertise on Airbnb experiences, they want a copy of your permit, license, whatever they're calling it. Hi, Michael. Happy Valentine's Day. Nassau County. Nassau County, isn't that in New York? Start out philosophical and get more simple. Do the duck. Okay, my version of duck lips is goofy. We start off with Socrates and end up with Freud. That's basically it in a nutshell. That's basically it in a nutshell. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let me scroll down. I don't know what wet leg means. Some dude put on wet leg. What does wet leg mean? You have more depth than most twice your age. Oh, thank you, Leaf. I'm glad you joined the cast tonight. It's hard, though. I will say. It's hard. Because a big piece of me is a little kid. But I feel almost when you age, you become this well, if you're like me and have made a lot of mistakes, those quote-unquote mistakes have given you a good sense of character. And so you get to a point, the more mistakes you make and the more things you try and the more things you do, it's going to give you, it's character building, whatever. And then you gain all this wisdom because you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. Some of mine took me a long time. I couldn't make the same mistakes over and over again. Sometimes it takes a few times, but the more things you try, the more things you do, and all of this likely comes with the aging process. But I feel like I clustered my mistakes at a very young age. So I did all the shit that you're supposed to do in a lifetime, and I just did it all at once. And so, you feel like you've learned. I feel like now, since I've had a good space to let my mind rest for a hot minute, I feel like I've had the space to really process and think about those things and get to a mentally healthy place, because a lot of those things, that mistakes I did, a lot of them were out of poor self-esteem. So I feel like me having low self-esteem has been the root cause of a lot of them. And I'm at a place where I have a much better self-esteem, but it took all of that. And so you feel like you have a decent amount. There's always more things to learn. Trust me, I'm going to fuck up. I'm not done with fucking up. Trust me, I'm going to fuck up some more. But I've just been a little bit more careful with the men's situation lately. I feel like the low self-esteem attracted the wrong type of guy. And now I'm very aware of it. And, you know, as we talk about like red flags and things, like maybe that I was giving the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times. And now I feel like I have no space for any red flags. And nobody's perfect. So it's like, how do you know? Like, how do you people know? Because like the minute I see like one fucking red flag, I'm like, all right, that's it. But nobody's perfect. I'm not. I'm going to fuck up in a relationship. Trust me, I am. I'm not a good girlfriend. I'm not a good girlfriend. I'm an excellent friend. I'm a bad girlfriend. And I know that about myself. So I'm scared to even entertain the thought of somebody else in my life because I don't want to fuck up their life. I have a lot of expectations. And I don't think that those expectations, like wishes, if you want to call them wishes, I don't think that any of that has gone away since I've been single. You know, and they all talk about don't settle, blah, 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 but it is true. I want to be with somebody that puts forth a lot of effort because I'm a girl who puts forth a lot of effort, and that I can promise. I can't promise I'll be perfect, and I will add stress. You know, I did a whole cast of like, if you're entertaining the idea of me in your life, I will likely add a lot of stress. I'm always doing things, taking risks, and that's stressful. You know, that's stressful for me. That's stressful for the people around me because they worry about me. And a part of them probably wants that themselves, but they're too scared. And I've just made it a point, especially, you know, in the last few years, to try and not be scared. Or if you are scared, to just do it whilst scared. And then you learn afterwards that everything was kind of okay. And you keep doing that and you keep doing that and you keep doing that. And then suddenly you're like rewired. You're like, okay, what was I even scared of in the first place? But it's hard because out of the 10 things that you might be scared of doing and you end up doing anyway, one of those things will end up actually not working out too well and kind of fucking some shit up. But the other 9 were probably actually just fine or beautiful. But the one thing will fuck shit up, and then it'll be like, oh, no, can't take risks anymore. And it's like, okay, wait. But the 9 other things you did actually panned out pretty well. So it's about getting past that. But even in psychological studies with rats, you give them one bad thing, you give them 9 good things, they're going to halt because of the one bad thing, you know. So it's very hard to do. Oh, my sister in RN travels the world. Oh, I love that. I looked into like doing Peace Corps stuff. I think have I aged out of it? I think I'm too old to go in the military either. I'm starting to like age out of things. Happy Valentine's, Jason. I like rocks and bottoms. I don't know what that means, Leaf. What's rocks and bottoms? Same journey here. Hello from the Midwest. Yes. Wholesome. Anytime someone comes up from the Midwest around here, I'm like, wholesome. So I gave my partner my account. She fucked it up. Like your bank account? I wouldn't give me your bank account. This elite minimalist over here, I would not trust me with money. That's one thing I would not trust me with. But it's not like I would do anything like that bad. I would just, in my head, it's okay. Like, no, we're not drinking $10 wine tonight. Oh, but you know, this is what we agreed on for the week's budget. Well, I'm not drinking shit wine. I mean, apparently I am right now. But I don't know. I don't have a comeback for that one. I do watch football. I'm sad that football's over, actually. Because it's rosé. It's shitty rosé, actually. very shitty rosé. This is where we're at, people. Times are tough. My mom the other day, I went on a philosophical tangent with my mom, and she's looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think, I was like, what was I talking about? I was telling her my vision for my Forest Queen coffee shop, that I can advertise, my guided hikes and, sell pie and all this kind of stuff. And, I probably slid in some stuff about the meaning of life and that how my struggles have shaped me. And she's looking at me like, and she said that it's as if I'm acting as though I have worked in the coal mines and I'm covered in soot. I was like, I'm not trying to act like I'm, fucking a coal mine worker. I'm not trying to be that way, at least. But, everyone, you can't trauma compare with people. Number one, if somebody tells you their story, you're not supposed to like one up them or try to oh, well, you did that. Oh, well, I was beaten to a pulp, or, you're not supposed to fucking trauma compare. But the way that you feel whenever, like bad shit's happened, I know for me personally, like I can't forget how I felt, and to know that, I have a resilience, I'm able to move on from those things. However, with the guy taking my money, my credit score always reminds me of the mistakes. That will linger. That'll linger for 7 years. So, and what's the other thing? My foot, my foot continues to remind me, like, we're not fixed. So it's very hard. Like, it's, for anyone on here who has something that like they fucked up with, and that they're not even they fucked up with, you just ran into some bad luck, whatever. And it continues to like haunt you on a daily basis because you're physically reminded of it or financially reminded of it. Or for people who have had a kid with the wrong person and you still have to see that motherfucker, like, thank God I didn't, do that. But I was like, I'd imagine that to be super, super hard. Because you just want to get that person out of your life, but you can never fully get them out of your life. So let's see what y'all have to say. Every day truly is a blessing. I try to have that mentality. It is I have come to the conclusion lately that my foot might not be able to be fixed. It might be a chronic pain situation. That, by the way, you can't even mitigate it with ibuprofen or, topical lidocaine, all of the things. Nothing. I did get new compression socks today, so I'm hoping that they help, because the compression that I have on right now only goes past the ankle. So ChatGPT, aka my doctor, said to get a compression sock that went all the way to my knee. So I'm hoping that extra compression, and ChatGPT gave me some new exercises to do. I'm hoping that helps. I spent money on a new pair of shoes. I just got a new pair of insoles this week. So it's like I haven't given up hope, but there's also a piece of me that knows that, like, hey, this might not go away. But I don't want to be in 4 out of 10 pain every day for the rest of my life. I was like, I can deal with it too. But you don't get that choice. Like, if I had a choice, like, what pain level can I withstand on a daily basis? I would pick 2. But you don't get to fucking choose. Hi, Brian. Stopping in from what's the YWP? Oh, Philly. Hi, Brian. Yeah, I'm in Central Pennsylvania, which, you probably know where York is. Do you say water like me? WUDDER. Sometimes I get called out on that. I went to REI the other day, which was in Mechanicsburg, and he's like, you have an accent. And I was like, well, I come from like Pennsylvania Dutch country. And then I was like, oh, I was asking him where the water bladders were. And that's probably why he picked up on it. But there's also, like, since I spent so much of my life in Florida, I now have like a little bit of like country twang in with the Pennsylvania Dutch. My grandma, or I guess my grandma and my nana were like, my whole family was super big on grammar and speaking properly and all of that. But there's like a lot of extended family you can definitely hear a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch. And I got to hear a lot of it today, which kind of reminded me of my roots, which I'll talk about. So, water. Oh, you know the area well? Well, then you might know about what I did today. Okay, hold on. I actually didn't eat anything. I didn't eat much today. I went on a pie tour, and they only give you like a bite of each, and they give you the rest of the pie to take home. But I had a Greek yogurt this morning, and I had 2 eggs, 1 egg white and 1 like full egg when I got home, and that's all I had to eat today. So I'm actually like really hungry, which would have been nice to be taken out to dinner. I turned somebody down for dinner, though. Not that it was going to be today. Maybe it was going to be today. I'm not sure. But I turned somebody down. I just Googled him the other day, though, and he is 60. And I was like, that's probably mentally, like I said, mentally where I'm at. But it is difficult because I really do enjoy these amped up hikes and rock climbing and stuff like that, and I really want someone who can enjoy that with me for a long time. So am I thinking about those things? Yes. My mom was actually married to a dude. He's not my dad, but my other stepdad. He was 22 years older than she was, and I saw how that kind of played out. It didn't play out very well, and everyone told her, like, Mom, you're so active, like, we can't envision this lasting, and it didn't last. So I feel like I can't entertain that thought for both of our goods, because I'd resent you, you'd resent me, because I'd be gone all the fucking time. But as a friend, I told him that we could get coffee. So I'm having coffee, which is, charity. Not to be an asshole. No, actually, like, I'm being silly right now. He actually seems like a really nice person. He worked at the fucking foot store. Apparently he's very knowledgeable about feet. So I was like, this might actually benefit me. And he'll be benefited because I'm super entertaining. So it's a symbiotic coffee meetup. Let's just call it that. This is a whoopie pie, I believe. And Brian, I believe you probably know what a whoopie pie is. Fucking tastes good right now. I'm so fucking hungry. Can't you guys feed me? Yeah, the queen needs to be fed. Okay, this is when I turn into Freud. I was like, fuck, at the end of the day, I go on and on about my stupid expectations, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I wouldn't give a dude any expectation that I wouldn't put on myself. I'm a girl who does a lot of things. I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I would expect the man to be an equal, on that. But that's hard. But right here, right now, eating this whoopie pie, I'm like, fuck it. I'd settle for a dude who just cooked. I just need fed. Remember, was anyone on here on the live stream when I ate that whole package of Thin Mints from the dollar store? Oh my God. I had a blast. What can I say? I had a blast. It was just whoopie pie was a little bit bigger. The more rosé I drink, I'm like, damn, maybe I should go get those pie slices. I really want to talk about the pie tour. I'll get to that in a second. We don't talk about Thin Mints. It was actually pretty similar to the Girl Scout Thin Mints, surprisingly. I don't think they were of the exact caliber, but they were not bad. It was good enough for me to fucking gobble down in the fucking 3 hours I was on my gentleman's school. Me and my one friend, we had an idea. You know, I don't really know what I'm doing with this live stream process yet. I came on here wanting to appeal to the other hikers, but it turned into a comedy show of sorts. And I was like, okay, we'll just roll with it. But an idea on the table, because me and my friend were really into like desserts. And I was like, we could create a whole fucking channel of us just fucking eating desserts and going on and on about snacks. But specifically desserts. They can't be any fucking snack. I'm actually not a very like salty person. I don't like I mean, I love pretzels, and if Brian knows Pennsylvania people, like we love our pretzels. Like I love pretzels, but if there's a snack I'm going for, like it's typically like a brownie, a cookie, a slice of pie, a cupcake, you know, pie above anything else. And I'm a candy person. I'm probably reaching for the candy more over than the baked goods. I'm reaching for those fucking nerd clusters. I'm reaching for the Mike and Ike's. I'm reaching, especially the nerd ropes, you know, which is just another version of the fucking clusters, but I could chomp down on a rope right now. Look at all the fucking Valentine's Day candy there was at CVS. I want somebody to show up to my doorstep with a gift basket of fucking candy. That's just not much money. That's not much. Put a fucking bow on the basket. Make sure that it's a bow you made. You picked out the color ribbon. You made the bow. You have a nice card on the inside. Because I'm very sentimental and I really enjoy a nice card. It doesn't have to be an expensive card. You could do, like I said, the dollar store. They have plenty of good candy at the dollar store. If a man, I don't know what would work for other women. I feel like a gift bag. This is the way I feel. Airheads, yes, airheads. This is the way I feel with anything, and why I'm so attached to the idea of pie. I very much am attached to the idea of a gift basket. A gift basket, a hodgepodge of things that you put together because you took notice of what the woman liked. You know, her tastes, her preferences, stuff that she was picking out of the grocery store that maybe she didn't get at the time. And you're like, okay, that's going in the gift basket. Or maybe she got something at like the grocery store, like run of the mill, and was like, oh, I'd really like to, try this, which is like an amped up version of whatever she got at the fucking grocery store. Put the nicer wine in there, put the better candy in there, like really try to dazzle. And I feel like a quality gift basket. And like I said, like the one dude called me out, I'm an elite minimalist. I like jewelry. But I'll settle. I will actually settle for a really, and I want the jewelry and the fucking gift basket. Let's just be real here. I want the jewelry. I'm a gemstone person. I love gemstones. And I also love gift baskets, thoughtful gift baskets. Put together a bunch of shit that you think I'll like with a nice fucking note, a nice fucking ribbon, and you fucking present me with it. Or you don't present me with it. You hide it in a spot that you'll know that I'll find it, like in the fucking bathroom, in the shower. Hide it in the shower and let me open up the shower curtain. And then I see the gift basket and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so wonderful. And of course I open up all the candy packages and start like right away. And then you're probably getting laid after that. And how much did you spend? You probably spent $50 on that gift basket. A lot of time, People, people don't want to spend the time putting those things together. And it's like, what have we done as a society? We've overworked ourselves to the point where we're not even noticing the intricacies of the other and nuances of our partners to even be able to do those things. Taking someone out for dinner is low effort. I still want it. But it is low effort to take somebody out to dinner. It's money. A gift basket, on the other hand, now we're talking. We're talking 5 to 10 hours that you probably spent on that gift basket. I want at least 5 to 10 hours spent on that gift basket because, and I was the type of girl too, and this is, I haven't had the opportunity to do these things in a while, but I would throw surprise parties for my boyfriends. I would plan everything. I hosted wine and cheese events. I hosted lake parties. I would buy decorations, decorate things all very cute. I would spend hours and hours of time planning very cutesy things for me and my friends and me and my boyfriends to do. Events, itineraries. I don't think that's been done for me once. That it wasn't... The things that I've went on with dudes, it was probably something their family planned or one of their friends planned. And it was their itinerary. But I've never been with a guy who actually came up with his own itinerary for me. And that's something to think about. That's something to think about for if there is a next person that I probably would like some effort being put into those things, the things that actually take time and thought. Time, thought, and real effort. The gift basket, man. I feel like, oh my God. For all the dudes who don't have girlfriends this Valentine's Day, or if you have someone that you're thinking of, that's in your life, and you didn't get the opportunity to, whatever. This Valentine's Day is almost over. However, there's so many other opportunities. What about a just because gift basket? I was like, there's still time. Give the girl a gift basket and tell me if you got laid or not. Tell me she didn't feel like fucking warm and fuzzies, in her fucking heart, and did something nice for you in return. Because girls are very giving. If you do something nice for her, she'll likely repay you tenfold. I want you guys to do gift baskets. I think that's the key to success. That is the key. Pie, hiking, gift baskets. I mean, I think that's the key to happiness, personally. Oh, and wine, yeah. She doesn't even know I'm going to get her a gift basket. She'll know you're alive then. Yes, and that's the special note. A gift basket means nothing unless it comes with the handwritten note and not just 3 sentences. I'm talking, are we all watching the recent Love is Blind? The one dude on there wrote the girl a very nice, poem note thing, whatever, his feelings for her on paper. I need it to be a page long. I'm not asking for an essay. Although I would probably love an essay. If you gave me an essay on how great I am, I'm reveling in that. I'm reveling in that. But I'm not asking for that. I'll take a page. Not 2 sentences, though. And it has to be thoughtful. It can't be something that you stole from online or another Hallmark card. It has to come from your heart. It has to come from you. It doesn't include the basket. Yeah, you have to actually get an actual basket. I don't care what happens to the basket afterwards. This is what I told my mom. Because one year when I was working for her at the firm in Daytona, she was like, oh, Christmas presents. And I was like, Mom, gift baskets for the clients. I was like, let's really impress them. Let's show up to their doorstep. So this is why I would make a great gentleman. I was like, I want to show up to their doorstep. And she ended up having like her ex-husband do it. But I was like, we need to be surprising these clients with gift baskets and showing up to their doors. And they were dazzled. They were dazzled. It didn't come with the Lauren Riz, and I would have liked for them to come with the Lauren Riz. But I dare you guys. I dare you guys. This could go for your mom. It doesn't have to be a girlfriend. Do it for your fucking mom. Do it for your fucking sister. Any woman. Or man. Or man. It works both ways. Tell me you guys don't want a gift basket. Wouldn't you guys love a gift? Tell me, honestly. Is a gift basket... Would you be repelled? Would you be repelled? Would you be repulsed by a gift basket? A bag of Skittles with Nerd Cluster gummies and a ring pop. Yeah, the day after CVS should be, I'm trying not to eat candy right now because I feel fat because I've had to do a lot of non-weight bearing exercises lately. I own a dairy farm. Can't tell about a person who eats ice cream. I like ice cream too. I'm a facilities manager for 50 restaurants. I wonder what restaurants, if I know of them. Is it Round the Clock Diner or something? They're like popping up all over the place in Central PA. You can tell a lot about a person by their favorite ice cream. Okay, while I'm waiting on you guys to respond about the gift basket, also, let's talk favorite ice cream. I feel like that's a good topic. My favorite ice cream, the first thing that comes to mind is a very classic, and I want to know, intraday, what that says about me. Cookie dough. Second one, cake batter with the actual cake pieces. Third, butter pecan. Fourth, Oreo. It's hard to just pick one. And you know what, too? Here's a cute thought. Maybe guys wouldn't do this. Maybe guys would do this. I would think it was fucking hilarious if a guy did this to me. But what if I took, like, sexy pictures and not the kind that I would post online. Not the kind that I would post online. What if I did that? I did them in, like, the Instax or the Polaroid so that you could have, like, the instant print. Tuck those in the gift basket as well. Let's sexy up this gift basket. We got the sentimental with the note. We have the sexy with the pictures. You know, we got the fun with all the candy and other shit. Other cheap shit. You know, there could be cheap shit. Along with, you know, maybe a piece of jewelry. A bottle of wine. I feel like we could do this Valentine's Day. Oh my God, my dream Valentine's Day would be so over the top. Which is so crazy because, like, the guy, and we'll get into that in a second. My Valentine's Day, you want to know what I'd want? What would really impress me? I wake up. I wake up, and my man is standing over me with a tray of, you know, like stuff that I wouldn't normally eat because I'm a pretty healthy eater, but maybe like some banana pecan pancakes and like a fucking thing of orange juice and maybe a couple sausages, maybe a few sausages, wink wink, and maybe like a little flour on it. Maybe just add a little bit of dazzle because you're fucking creative. Because you're fucking creative. You put a little flour, you know, on the tray. And then we sit down and we eat together because this isn't just for me. I want to enjoy it with somebody. And we watch we stay in bed for a little bit because we want to let the romance linger. We stay in bed, maybe we watch a cute movie, and then we finally get up, you know, in my world, you know, we're probably taking a hike for then the next 3 hours. And then at the summit, maybe we have a glass of wine. Maybe we have a little bit of charcuterie, and that's like our lunch. And then we climb back down the mountain. And after we get down off the mountain, you know, there's more wine because we do another wine tasting. And after that, he takes me to a really nice dinner because I want steak. I want steak. I want a potato. I want salad. And I want a cup of soup. And whatever I don't eat, I'll take home. And I'm going to get some really nice cocktails because I don't get nice cocktails normally because they're $20. So I might be getting 3 of them. This is actually turning out to be really expensive. A really expensive Valentine's Day. And then at dinner, that's when he pulls out the jewelry. And maybe it's something like a lot of the jewelry I like isn't even that expensive, like a little aquamarine necklace or something. Just something really cutesy. Or like something that reminded me of him. Wait, that reminded him of me. And then I give him like his gift. I get him like a nice watch. I don't know, something classy. And then we go back home. I find my gift basket. You know, I don't know if that's in the morning or if that's after dinner. I'm not really sure what part of the day we're exchanging gift baskets. But he gets his gift basket. I get my gift basket. And then we find those pictures that we took. We find those pictures. We're like, ooh. So we put on some sexy music and we go to town. We go to Pound Town. We go to Pound Town. So after Pound Town, then we have another glass of wine. And then maybe we watch something fucking ridiculous on TV, some trash reality TV, you know, whatever. Eat that candy. Eat that candy for dessert. Or, you know, we have a slice of like chocolate cake from dinner. That way we were too full to eat at dinner, so we took it home. So we put some cake, you know, in with some ice cream. And then we just fucking pig out. And then maybe go to Pound Town again. I don't know. Let's see what you guys think about Pound Town. Boyfriends. I've been through a lot of men in my life. Let me think about that. Like, how many long-term relationships have I had? Because I wasn't like a hookup person. I've actually been in a lot of bona fide relationships that I shouldn't have been. Probably like 6 relationships, at least like a year or more. Like my 2 longest ones, I think, were 4, and the other one was 6. Another one was 2, and then another 2 guys were like 1 year. And yeah. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. Want to know why? Want to know why it didn't work out? Which is interesting for me to think about now, especially since I'm like semi-unemployed. But I was always trying. I was very like ambitious. And I think that the guy that I had actually like married back in the day was not ambitious. It turns out he just wanted a family, and he wanted to be that person. He wanted that life, which is not really communicated to me, but we were so young that he probably didn't even know what he wanted back then. And I didn't either, but I was just learning. I was like, whatever's going on here, it is not helping me with my goals. And I thought at that time I was going to, you know, be a nurse. And then I became a nurse, and then I became a nurse practitioner. And then once I actually climbed to the top, then I let it all fall down. And that's kind of, you know, the beauty of life. And then the other dude, kind of the same thing. He wanted, not that it was communicated to me at the time, but I learned after the fact that he just wanted like a humdrum, not to say as he was hot, he was not an exciting person, but I thought his interests made him exciting at the time. But I was like, you're just a humdrum vanilla guy, but you have interests that interest me. But you're not actually interesting. So you can be a person with like cool hobbies and not actually be like a fun person. And if he's still on my Facebook, I'm actually kind of curious what he thinks about my current state. I don't think he would be that surprised because he got to see the real me when we were together. But like once he saw the real me, he didn't like it. He didn't like it. Guys don't want to see. Now apparently they do. Now apparently they do. I think because like we're a little bit older now, whereas like guys back then and guys in their 20s and probably early 30s, some even still in their 40s, don't want the girl to like outshine them. And I will probably outshine any man I'm with, as you can imagine from here, as one can imagine. And they don't like that. And to their credit, I think a man needs some room in a relationship to shine themselves as well, to prove themselves. You know, the guys want to do the acts of service and they want to do what they can to be an asset in your life. And it is very hard with a person like me because I don't know that any man can be an asset in my life. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. I was like, what good are you guys? I don't know. Other than friends. I have male friends. I'm trying to think outside of a friendship. What a guy can offer me in a partnership that I can't offer myself. And all I can think about is money. But I was like, you know, what I am doing right now is sacrificing a lot of the financial means that I have the capability to earn right now. I'm sacrificing my money-making capabilities so that I can do these hikes in the hopes that the content I'm making with these hikes is self-fulfilling also, but also can be monetized and shared with other people. So I'm taking a risk. It's a big risk. Oh my God, I think I pressed the wrong button. How'd I get out? There's too many buttons. Zippy Fire has an interesting take. Okay, if a man was willing to ride, to hop on my lift. Okay, let's picture this as like a ski lift. If a man was able to hop on my lift, I think we could go places. However, it would have to be my lift. I don't think that it could work, me getting on his lift. I don't think it could work. I don't know if there's a vice versa to that situation. But if you were to hop on my lift, my girlfriend said she'll buy me flowers and chocolate. Well, I hope that you're also doing the flowers and chocolate. Oh God, I want to be outshone. I think that for all of the poems that I have written other men, the response that I've gotten back, because it had been a long time since I was like my hopeless romantic self. And so I started to like do these nice little things. I'll tell you a little story. Okay, let's go into a little story. I learned to weave baskets in the psych ward. Yeah, make lemons out of lemonade. Lemons out of lemonade. Who doesn't love a basket? You know, if you all say that you don't love a basket, you're lying. You're lying because baskets are wholesome. Everyone loves a basket. So I thought this guy at one of my old apartment complexes was super cute. Oh my God, he was so cute. He would be in like and for some reason I was attracted to like the military dudes. I don't know what it was. I can't even put my finger on it, but he looked super cute in his uniform. And didn't say anything, but we would often like catch each other in the elevator, but not saying a word. And one day I was like, oh my God, what if I put my number and a silly little note on a Post-it and left it like on the thing where you press the buttons for the elevator, to get his attention. I was like, what if? And the only day that I had never actually talked to him, but my friend pet his dog once, and then he commented on our outfits because we were going to a festival, so we were just a little crazy, and he commented like on our outfits. So I knew that he had like noticed me that day, but he hadn't like noticed me. So I proceeded to put a Post-it on the elevator, and I still have a picture of this. And I said, "Dear elevator boy, I think you're cute." That might have been the extent of what I said. I was like, oh, and you know what? This is what I said afterwards. I was like, "I think you're cute. If you don't have a girlfriend, here's my number." And I left my number. And I was like, I don't even know how that, maybe I'm missing a part of the story. So I was like, how did he know it was for him? But I might be missing a part of the story. But anyhow, he does end up texting me, like 3 hours later. Like I went back to the elevator because he was on the same floor as me. I went to the elevator like an hour after I put it on there, and it was already gone. And I was like, did somebody tear down my Post-it? But then an hour, like a couple hours after that, I had gotten a text message, and I was like, oh, he got it. But then we go back and forth. He's like fun to talk to, whatever. And then he ends up saying that he has a girlfriend. And I was like, I specifically said on the Post-it, only text me if you don't have a girlfriend. And like I said, I have proof of this in my photo reel. And I was like, you're just kind of a douchebag if you're trying to text another girl while you have a girlfriend. He just wanted to kind of know that he liked his ego being stroked, and maybe he had said, actually, to be fully transparent. Hi, Steven. To be fully transparent, he said that they were on break. But has anyone watched Friends when Ross fucking cheats on, Jennifer Aniston, and she, he thought they were on a break. You're like, you're not supposed to just jump into something else when you're on break with somebody. Everyone should know that episode. So I was like, no, I can't talk to you like this. Like, I can't. And then we would still run into each other in the hallways. And he would try to like be jokeful with me, and it read flirty. And I just kept thinking like, dude, like, and then he ended up like getting back together with his girlfriend like a couple of weeks later. And I was like, who could have, that wasn't her shock. So my whole hopeless romantic, gesture, it worked. The guy was actually really fucking tickled. However, guys are dogs. Y'all can be some dogs out there, and just kind of wanted to like dangle me just in case. I was like, I'm not cool with that. Not cool with that. So it didn't pan out, but the gesture worked. And I've done that a few other times. Works every time. That's kind of like one of my romantic superpowers is like I can get a person to cry. Feel things. I can get a person to feel things that they haven't felt. I can touch without touching. And that's like my superpower. So I try to use that, if not for a self-serving way, then I think I'm doing humanity good, if I'm being honest. I gave a Valentine's Day to my own self. I was thinking about, I guess this wine and like the pie tour was like a gift to myself. At least be a French vanilla guy. He was not French vanilla. I whacked off today. I'm going to be doing some whacking later. Self-care. That's what the internet's telling us to do. Oh, self-care. Like, oh yeah, we're getting some good self-care later. Oh yeah, now I'm scrolling up to when we were talking about Pound Town. Pound cake. Racy picks in a gift basket would be epic. Honestly, like a part of me, like the way my mind's going right now, I was like, I wish I had a guy to give like racy pictures to. I was like, I'm like so about photo shoots. I love photo shoots. If I had the opportunity, I did like a boudoir photo shoot. One lady was advertising it at the yoga studio I'd gone to a few times, and she was advertising like a free session. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And I was like, you know what? Let's do this. So I did it in my lingerie, and it was very fun. Very fun. I can do photo shoots and basically anything. I just love to model. Like I said, I'm not getting paid for it, but I love to do it. Most other things would slowly end up in the garbage. Not the candy. You're not throwing away those nerd ropes. Perfect time for Sharknado movie. Oh my God. Do you have a Roth? Do you think I have a Roth IRA? Does anyone on here, based off of what I have said this entire stream, does anybody think I have a Roth IRA? Multiple candy baskets. Oh my God. It would blow my mind. It would blow my mind. Behind every door. Behind every door in the house, another gift basket with a different theme, because you're creative and you put time and thought into it. My eyes are going to hurt so bad. Actually, just doing these once a week has helped my eye out so bad. Has helped my eyes out. Me doing it every day fucking deteriorated my eyesight. And I can start to feel those lights coming at me right now. So I know that I have to get on to talking about the Amish. What's sexier than spending Valentine's Day with the Amish? Tell me. Tell me. If that doesn't take a person to Pound Town, I don't know what will. A romantic movie like Jurassic Park. Oh, bubblegum ice cream. Indecision under cookie dough. Solid 10. Good. Double scoop. Honestly, you give me any ice cream flavor, like I'm not going to be repulsed. Even mint chocolate chip, I'll do. Yeah, no, I'll eat anything. I'm that way with candy too. There's no candy that I won't eat. Your biggest desires wait for you, basket. I'm a simple woman. I'm a simple woman. You might... The elite minimalist. Oh, I'm just happy with some bags of candy. Oh, but maybe just like a couple bottles of like some nice wine. Oh, just maybe a steak dinner and maybe a jewelry. Maybe a necklace. Simple. A simpleton. A simpleton. Go like this for you. I knew you needed to go on a nature walk, and your walk look for oh, that's super cute. I did that one year for Easter. The guy I was with, I put like little clues in the Easter eggs, and I scattered them throughout, and I left like a clue on how to get to the next Easter egg. But he had to think about an experience we had together to get to the next Easter egg to even know where that was. I was like, damn, that was a flex. Like, I wasted a lot of good creativity on that one. On that guy. So I was like, that was real cute. That was real cute. Give me one margarita essay. Okay, I get it now. I want the... Hugh doesn't care about a gift basket. He just wants the dishes washed. I think that's, you know, I kind of want the gift basket and the dishes washed. I'll go for acts. Acts of service are appreciated. There shouldn't be any dishes because we went out to dinner. How much dishes, does one person make? How many dishes do two people accumulate? I just don't accumulate that many dishes. Hi, Robert. Candy basket. Where I'm from, girls take. I get a lot of those comments on here about girls wanting too much. And so when I get on those tangents about what I want, then I get some hate for it because guys are like, oh, that's all girls just want too much, blah, blah, blah. I believe, I've said this before on here, a girl should not want any more than what she's willing to give herself and will demonstrate. Same for the guy. He should not ask for anything that he's not demonstrating himself, so that it's kind of like a symbiotic thing. Or else these things will just come out in the end, if one person's not giving enough. Like I said, the one dude I was with for 6 years, I did not really cook. And the few times I did, I was ridiculed that I made too many dishes and made too much of a mess, and it was stressing him out. And he just wanted simple food, and that whatever food I was making was too fancy. I'll always remember that. Always remember those comments. It was too fancy, too many dishes, stressed him out. And I was like, wow. So this guy really just does want meat and potatoes. I feel like he would have been content with that. I wasn't content with that. I don't want to put together just a meat and potatoes dish. When I do something, I like to 0 to 10. Either I'm not cooking or I'm cooking something fabulous. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Would you like the girl that just slapped together something easy? Or would you like the girl that when she actually did do it, did a nice job? Because I wouldn't want the guy who just put together meat and potatoes for me. I would actually want a thought out plate. But then how are we supposed to come up with well thought out plates on a daily basis when we both are, have jobs? I don't know. I don't have any answer. In Lauren's world, there's unlimited time to do these things. That's not reality. I'm living in this reality right now, but I don't actually have the money to come up with a well thought out plate. Like I said, I ate 3 eggs and a Greek yogurt today. So that's what we're working with. You hand me a pile of money. Shit. You're getting some good shit. You're getting nice food. But then you become somebody's bitch, and then you can't depend off of a man's money, because then you become subservient to the man, and the man might leave you. What are you left with? What are we drinking? A cheap rosé from the gas station. Okay. There's a lot of messages. I'll scroll up and I'll try to... Yeah, the Roth IRA. I remember that one. Okay. You guys are funny tonight. I love anything self-deprecating, because I'm a big self-deprecator of myself, so I enjoy it when somebody else does it to themselves. I feel like that's just comedy. I feel like the best comedians know how to make fun of themselves, because we're actually we're not taking ourselves too seriously. And life's just more fun if you don't take things seriously. There's not much I'm serious about unless I'm in philosophical mode. Unless I think I'm Socrates. Hey, Bruce. So oh, good question. What specifically makes you a bad girlfriend? And I would love, and I think I talked about this on the other live stream, I would actually love if I had the opportunity to give these dudes an exit survey and actually find out what they didn't like about me. Because all I can do is conjecture. I don't actually, like, when you look what landed on my thumb. When we broke up, it was in such a disastrous mode, and everything was, oh my God, get this fucking thing off my fucking... It's a forest queen. I attract animals. I attract bugs, apparently. They never actually listed out what they didn't like about me, so I could only guess. And because I'm a self-aware person, I'm pretty sure that my guesses are on point. They were terrible dudes. They were terrible dudes. But the two that weren't, like, completely awful, I think the 6-year dude, because my last actual relationship was with a bona fide sociopath. So I don't know that, what I did wrong in that relationship, I was actually pretty good. I was pretty good in that relationship, but I was kind of resentful when he moved his 21-year-old son in, and that just kind of changed the dynamic, because they were hanging out in the garage till like 2 a.m. every night, getting drunk with each other and smoking, and he knew that I wasn't a fan of, like, smoking. And they would just fucking hang out in the fucking garage. And so it would make me look like the bad guy going into the garage being like, okay, are you not coming to bed? It's like, oh no. And it would be in front of his son. And then his son would, like, look at me like I was a monster. I was like, I was going to pour another glass of wine, but there's none up here, so I'd have to go downstairs. Oh yeah, I've never cheated on anybody. Never even thought of it. When I'm with someone, I only have eyes for them. That's it. I think we're allowed to think other people are attractive. My mind does not go past that. Never has, never will. But yeah, as far as that relationship goes, yeah, I got really resentful. I think me being resentful is probably a common theme with the other dude. I don't know. I'll tell you guys this. I forget what he would pretend like he wouldn't care about shit, and I would try to get a rise out of him. And whenever I was trying to have, like, an actual conversation with him, he would just be in his phone, and he would pretend like he didn't even hear what I was saying, and he wouldn't respond in a manner that would show me that he was actually listening to me. So one day, I just snatched the phone out of his hand, and he was never violent with me. But I just snatched the phone out of his hand, and I ran outside. I ran a block, and buried. See what you guys think about this. I buried the phone underneath a bush or something, and then I ran back, and then I was like, what are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? I wanted to get, like, a rise out of him. It didn't really work. It didn't really work. He was like, okay, I need my phone back. And I went back and I got the fucking phone. Like, it didn't escalate from there. I wonder what he did with this video, but one day he videotaped me, and my parents had kicked me off of their family plan, the phone family plan. And I had been paying them for it, but I asked if I could get on his family plan, and he basically said no. And I got really pissed off about it. And he videotaped me and called me crazy for getting upset over that. I don't know if it was right or wrong. I can't tell you. He didn't like me getting drunk and dancing. We had gone scalloping with my friends, And he had always been like really good to my friends because those were his friends too. And I just remember the last time we went scalloping, I drank too much, but nothing crazy. I was just dancing with my friends and having a good time. I wasn't doing anything, in my eyes, belligerent. And he did not like that. He did not think that was a good portrayal. And I was like, I'm just dancing. Same when it came to like the Christmas party we had gone to. I was dancing with my friend. I didn't even have much to drink, so you can't even blame it on alcohol. I was just like, I literally can dance with or without alcohol. It doesn't matter. And people get confused. They're like, oh, she must be drunk. And it's like, no, actually, I can just dance. I can dance crazy without any alcohol. I was dancing with my friends. He wanted to leave. Anytime I would have a good time and he wasn't having a good time, he doesn't dance. He doesn't dance. I've never had a man dance with me. He just wanted to go home. So it was the personalities were not meshing anymore. Does that make me a bad girlfriend that our personalities were not meshing anymore? I could have tried harder. At the time I was in nursing school, and I took that as my excuse as to why I wasn't trying to put more like food on the table or go grocery shopping, stuff like that. He wanted me to put more money and effort into like grocery shopping and food, and I wasn't doing it. And I blamed it on being in nursing school. For anyone on here who's been on nursing school, like, it's not easy. You come home stressed out every day. It affects your partner. Your partner has to be really supportive. He was not that person. He was starting a business of his own, and he wished probably that I would have been more supportive of his business, which he later admitted to, after we were done with the relationship. But I still think that he wishes that I would have been more supportive of him in that process. So that was our relationship. The other one, what would make me a bad girlfriend with the other ones? They would all, like I said, they would all say that I'm crazy. But I think that's just a gaslight, because they're crazy. But I am a little crazy, so it is partially true. So I don't know what you guys think about those things. Me burying the phone. Were conversations two-way? Not really, because a lot of the guys that I've been with are very quiet. They hold their feelings inside. They were not very emotionally intelligent people. I don't think they wanted to be. I was on a different wavelength, and I don't think I even realized it at the time. But I was on like 2 different wavelengths with these like quiet dudes, because they had a hard time translating how they felt on the inside. So they would like blow up at me, because they were likely holding a lot inside along the way and didn't know how to tell me those things. And I think a part of them just didn't, some of them weren't actually that bad, and they just actually didn't want to hurt my feelings, but they ended up hurting my feelings anyway, because when shit blew up, it really fucking hurt my feelings. But I think that they thought that they were preserving my feelings in a weird way. They had a hard time expressing themselves. I knew that they were stressed out. I think every man I've been with has been very stressed out. I think that most men, I'm making a generalization here, I think that most men can be very content with status quo. Not learning every day, not learning something new every day, not actively taking risks, not actively planning things, not actively putting much forethought into a ton. That they're okay with a comfortable life. If they can sustain a comfortable life, they're okay with that. And I think a lot of women are too. I think what I've found out about myself the past few years is that apparently I'm not okay with the status quo. And I want a lot from life, and I want to experience everything that I can do and learn. And that means a lot of effort, a lot of intention, and constantly thinking. And to be around somebody that's constantly thinking, it's like a machine that never stops, a computer that won't stop. I have no like off button unless I'm drinking. And apparently now, even though I can't, because I haven't gotten to that drunk point, but the only way to turn me off is to put some drug in me. Which is why it's kind of nice sometimes to be able to like dance, kind of like these festivals kind of do that for me. It helps me turn off in a way, but otherwise I'm just a computer that doesn't fucking shut off. And who wants to be around that? Like, you guys tell me if that's comfortable. I could never be Amish because pocket pool is my favorite game. What is pocket pool? And no, I don't think I could be Amish either. However, today kind of sheds some new light on the Amish, which we'll talk about because I need to Arby's. Yes, Pennsylvania Amish. So, yes, let's get onto this. Valid answers is how I feel. Burying on the phone outside is wild. Is it not? I could probably come up with some more examples. That was the one that sticks in my head. I was like, Lauren, did we need to do that? Did we need to bury the guy's phone? I was like, man, I thought I was taking a stance. I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm going to get this dude's attention. You take away a man's phone, you're going to get his attention real quick. But because I'm actually a nice person, I just didn't even put up a fight, and I ended up I fucked myself over. I just ran back out to the phone and grabbed it, I can check myself. However, it is pretty funny, right? It's pretty fucking funny. What else did I do? I'm sure I've done that with other dudes. If I got mad at them, this is where the crazy comes out. I'm sure I'd have to really sit down and think of other examples, but I would take the thing that was like pulling attention away from me when I was trying to have a real conversation. I would take it and I would hide it and watch them stir. Watch them stir. I'm pretty sure I've hidden like a guy's fucking computer before, like a laptop. It's usually like a device, or whatever else they're fucking doing. I went crazy. The one guy that I was with that couldn't quit smoking, I would fucking show up to his workplace and try to catch him smoking outside. That drove me literally insane. This man drove me insane. Like one day I had gone to work. I forgot something, so I had to come back. He's fucking smoking. So it was just it encompassed me, it took over. And I just like tried to catch him smoking because he would deny it up and down. It drove me insane. And that was probably one of the major reasons why we ended up getting fucking divorced. Because the guy couldn't quit smoking. He couldn't quit. And I thought that like hiding shit from him would like solve the problem. I would talk to him about it too. Crazy. You look like you want to marry me, crazy. You want your phone buried? Do you boys want your phones buried? It's a little nutty for sure. Yeah. I won't get violent. I'll just bury your shit. This is making me laugh. I actually haven't admitted that to many people at all. So now I've admitted it to the internet. I guess it's better than taking a a baseball bat to their car. See, that's not my style. Like, I don't actually ruin people's things. I've never, ever ruined anybody's anything, which the guy that I'm talking about, no, he was very docile. So the guy that I buried his phone, he was a very docile person. The other dude, my second longest relationship, like, he set all of our pictures on fire, and I thought that was really mean, because I looked really good in those wedding pictures. And now I have not one. Because another guy I was with made me delete all of them off of my Facebook. And I was like, I looked really pretty in those wedding pictures. I was like, fuck him. I was looking pretty. Have you ruined their life? No, they're living their best lives. I even said this on the other live stream. Most of the guys, once they have dumped me, their next relationship, they end up marrying and having kids. So I can't be that bad. Apparently I train well. You know? Maybe you have to, like, deal with your phone getting buried, but I train well. Have you ever been cheated on? So I don't get very paranoid if a guy's cheating on me or not. I've never been worried about that. Have I been? Yes. I only found out after the fact, like, after the relationship is already, like, done and over with. So it didn't, like, affect me in the moment, because we were already, like, done by the time I found out. But I don't obsess over things like that. You glow as we speak. Yeah, those wedding pictures, and I had made it a point, which I'm going to be doing over the summer. I'm letting my natural haircut, like, probably all of this is my natural hair color. I'm letting my full natural hair color grow out. And I did that for my wedding pictures. And I had this really, like, it was only $100. Like, I paid for my entire wedding myself. Aside from, I think my mom chipped in $1,000, and I don't think his family chipped in any money. And I got permits to do it does anyone know Sanibel? It's in Florida. It's by Fort Myers. But I had gotten, like, this is how fucking creative I am. I do all the fucking planning. Just give me some money. That's the most low effort thing you can do. Just give me the money. I'll take care of everything. I think it's a great deal. So anyhow, I got the permits. I found somebody that was renting chairs. So we brought all the chairs to the wedding. It was a very small wedding. I think like 30 people were there at most. And, like I said, I basically did all of this myself. So we set up all the chairs. I got a violinist off of Craigslist, which is still, like, more popular at the time. And I think I only paid maybe like $150 for the violinist. And she played the song, if you guys know the movie Twilight, it was the song off of Twilight. Which would have been really cute if I actually had, like, some footage. Because now I can look back in time and not be, like, sick to my stomach, but actually just think of it as, like, a really nice event I put together. I mean, shit. I mean, kudos to me for throwing all that together. So the violinist was playing. We did, like, a sand thing where he had, like, black sand and I had the white sand. We put it together. Okay, this is where it's kind of sad because I wrote my vows and I wrote his vows. I think, why the fuck did I write his vows? Oh my god. And so after the wedding, his mom was a photographer, so his mom took the pictures. After the wedding, we drove to a restaurant, and I had put together a cutesy little menu and had them printed. And it had, like, the list of things that people were, could get off of there. And everyone was allowed one drink because I knew that I would be on the hook for paying for everything. And it was a really nice time at the restaurant. And the sunset was going down. and we had like I forget what we danced to. It was the first dance. I think it was a song he liked. And he liked like Frank Sinatra, like old school songs like that. Not like I have anything against it, but I think these days, like I would probably choose like a Taylor Swift song, because that's my style. That's just my style. And I feel like this wedding was more, aside from it being on the beach, I was trying to make him happy. So you want to know my ideal wedding? I've always wanted to get married. This is my dream from the very beginning. I wanted to get married under a waterfall in Hawaii. And I know that that's like fucking extra, but I was like, it's still not that crazy. When you compare to some of these like vineyard weddings, I was like, it wouldn't be that expensive, but people would have to pay to get there. And if you can't, then you can't. And I think that that's okay. But that was always my dream. I wanted to get married in Hawaii under a waterfall. And I still want that, because I didn't get to have that with that one. I did the best I could with what I had. And I think everyone would probably say it was a lovely wedding. But I put all of that together. I even printed out a 10-page packet for everyone who was involved in the wedding and the timeline of the day. I was my own like fucking coordinator. I made the appointments for like the massage and like the hair getting done before the wedding. Made sure that he knew like what suit to get. Like I said, I chose my own, like I bought the wedding dress off of online because it was $100. It ended up looking fabulous. I still don't know what happened to the wedding dress. That was a really nice one. It's from David's Bridal. Does his mother know he set the wedding pictures on fire in the driveway? I'm not sure. I actually really liked his mom. But they were different. And I think I talked about this on maybe a previous cast, but they were a Mormon family. So they were different. This is my first experience with like a fucking Mormon family. So they were not like necessarily approving of me in the first place. He was not Mormon. He did not identify as Mormon, but he was raised Mormon. Apparently, fun fact, after me, he went back to being a Mormon because I saw online that he like had because he got married like 6 months after divorcing me. His new wedding pictures were in front of the temple in Salt Lake City. So I'm like, that fucker went back to being Mormon. I drove the man back to Mormonism. That's how good I am. That's how good I am. I can drive men back to Mormonism. My ex would do disturbing things with my toothbrush. See, I don't think I could do that. I just bury things. I think that that's very benign. I would never ruin another person's property. I've had that done enough to me. I've had a lot of things destroyed by men. I would never destroy another person's things. I might claw you. a little bit. Bury a phone. The men that I've clawed, I did have a domestic violence suit against me once because I had clawed the dude because he was threatening to take my dog, which we had, jointly gotten together. But I loved the dog and I didn't want to get rid of the dog. So we were physically fighting to I don't think he even wanted the dog himself, so I don't know what he was doing. He can't have a dog. This dude was in the Air Force. You can't have a basset hound with you on base. So I don't know what the hell he was trying to do. He couldn't keep the dog anyway. But he wouldn't give me the papers to the dog. And we had both put in the same amount of money to, purchase the dog. And, he got clawed. He called the police on me. And it was a scratch mark on his fucking neck. He called the police on me. It was actually very fucking unsettling because I had to go to a court date. He didn't show to the court date. My grandma drove up from Daytona to support me because I was all out of sorts. and then they dropped the charges. And then I ended up having to sue the guy because he wouldn't pay me. I lent him $2,000 for tires. And then, of course, like, once you loan a guy money, like, the next week we're broken up. And I tried to get the money out of him for, like, months. He wouldn't pay. So then I took him to court. And then they take you through, if anyone has sued anyone before on here, you have to go through pre-mediation or whatever. And he just would not he would not settle on a deal with me. So we went to real court, and within like 2 seconds, the case was over because the judge asked him something like, do you owe this girl money? And he's like, well, I was going to pay her. And then he was like, okay, case closed. Like, obviously he admitted that he owed me money. And then it took me a year to get back that judgment. And there's more drama involved with that than what I'm letting on. But let's just say I'm not in the business of lending men money anymore. Especially the last dude. Like, he took a lot more than $6,000, but he technically owed me $6,000. But I paid for like 2 vacations that he was supposed to pay for half of. And I'm not including that in the $6,000. Yeah, I'm just not in the business of, like, lending men money. Lending men money. Like, I don't have any money to lend anybody. Are there any relationships you regret giving up on? No, I mean, the first answer is no. I think because the men I was with were so wrong for me in the first place. And now that I know myself a little bit better, if I had to go back in time, I wouldn't choose that same type of profile. No. I don't know what, like I said, I actually don't even know what profile would work for me. I have no fucking clue. I thought that the quiet ones would work for me. But the quiet ones tend to be low effort. I would need high effort, quiet. Or somebody that can vibe with my energy so that I can be a little bit more quiet. And maybe it's nice for me to have quiet moments. I don't know. I'm not giving myself the opportunity to figure that out right now because I'm off the market for the next 3 years, and I've been off the market for 4 years. So that'll be 7 years, dudes, by the time I might not look the same. My prime will have passed. I will be back on the market at 42 or 43. 42 or 43. That's still not that bad for a person who takes care of themselves. And I'm not looking for a guy with kids either. And I feel like a lot of dudes have kids. But I'm also not looking for the Peter Pan. So I don't know. Are there guys that are not a Peter Pan? And are there guys that don't have kids? Because I feel like most kind of fit into one of the two. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do wonder how, to the extent that because his mom cut off the relationship with me as soon as we broke up, which was pretty hurtful because we had a good relationship. But that's made me like I have not had a relationship with anybody else's mom since then because I'm so afraid of them turning their back on me like his mom did. I'm not ghosting. Robert, I'm not ghosting. I'm trying to scroll up. on the back. I have clawed a dude on the back too. I think that was the same dude. I think that was the same dude. He must have really pissed me off. I was like, the one time it was over the dog. The other time, I'm not sure. But he pissed me off. He just... Do you bite? I did bite. This, I bit once. Well, twice. Twice with the same dude on the same date. But I was literally, that was a fight for my life situation. Okay. Robert's comment. What do we all think about this? You never listen and never shut up. Should he be blocked? Robert, you can also defend yourself in this scenario. I almost pressed the button. The more you talk, the crazier the wild, the crazier the stories get. Keep up the good work. Like I said, when relationships end, these guys cannot wait to get away from me. They cannot wait. And they find the love of their life, apparently. So, did they regret me? Probably not. I showed them the way. I showed them the way. Okay, yes, off the market because these through hikes, you probably weren't on earlier. But these through hikes will take me away for 4 to 5 months out of the year. So I can't have a relationship with somebody when I'm gone for half the year. Virginia Beach. I love Virginia Beach. I love Rehoboth. Bobby Brown vibes. Do you think he should be blocked to leave? Because I didn't like that comment. Actually, you know what? This is a second strike for him. All right. Okay. He's probably not going to be happy with that. Yeah, Robert Brown got blocked. He's been a follower of sorts, but I gave him, and this is why I never should give anyone the benefit of the doubt, because on a previous live stream, there was somebody actually like picking on me, and he laughed at it. And I gave him the opportunity. I was like, Robert, tell me specifically what you were laughing at. What did you think was funny? And crickets, didn't say shit. And I was like, okay, we'll let this one slide because he's been a loyal follower. But is this a loyal follower just to fucking make fun of me? I was like, I don't need that. I don't need that. So he comes on here. Then he sheds that comment of, quote unquote, she never listens. She never shuts up. And I was like, well, that's pretty overt. That's pretty overtly mean. I was like, okay, let's just get rid of this dude. Let's just narc. Yeah, I was like, let's not give anyone the benefit of the doubt. Let's just take everything at face value. I don't know, not something I would do, you guys. I don't think I could get on somebody else's stream and pick on them. I would probably, if I didn't like what I was looking at, if I did not resonate with the content, I would just get off. But some people, I call them the trolls. The trolls find me. The trolls find me. They find everybody. No, there's fucking, they find everybody. They crawl out from under, we joke that they crawl from underneath their bridges. And they fucking find me. User. Less makeup. I don't like that comment. After we just talked about I'm ruthless on here, so you say one negative connotation at me, you're off. I don't know that there's any coming back from that. Yep. I don't think there's any coming back from a less makeup comment. There's really not much makeup happening here. I've gotten on here with no makeup. I've gotten on here with a face full of makeup. You know, you never know what you're gonna get. I don't think that was being mean with the less makeup comment. See, I think that it is mean. I think that any comment directed at somebody's appearance on a stream is tasteless. I think about things on here, like if it's something that I would do or if I would not do. If I went on to somebody else's stream, you would not hear a peep out of me making a comment at somebody else's appearance. So that's where my mind goes when I'm thinking about these things, is like I just wouldn't do it myself. And I hold myself to like a high moral standard. And so if something doesn't align with my value system, then I do question it. Not to say is you guys can't come back from it. You want to be the show, so now you're the show. Get over it. Ooh, block. Yeah. Okay. Well, we settled that one. We settled that one, did we not, boys? I don't think he meant it that way. I don't think that he meant it in a mean way. However, his next comment, let's read this one together. You want to be the show, so now you're the show. Get over it. Do we not agree that's mean? We were about to give this dude the benefit of the doubt. Then he comes back with this comment. My moral compass is so spot on. I can spot this shit a mile away. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. If I think it's mean, it's mean. All right, let's go. How many fucking numbers do they need in a username? Good point. Low effort. Can we all agree that that person's name was completely low effort? User 41719867. Like how? Like you couldn't even take the time to choose a username? Users are losers. Why show up at someone's place with that? Yeah. Choose something. That was something TikTok gave you. That's what you're gonna settle for. Your life is so fucking shitty and stupid and pointless and pathetic. You're just going to settle for whatever TikTok gives you. You're not even going to put in another thought to who you are as a human and how you want to present yourself online. That you're just going to take the user and then fucking 10 numbers after it. If he doesn't like you, you should just scroll on. Scroll on. They just snub in your shine. Yeah. And I think that gets some people off. I feel like that. I don't know if y'all have seen this meme online, but there was a guy, he had like 5 computers set up, and he would literally go on to everyone's social media, and he like was in his basement or something, but he would have 5 different computers set up or devices, and he would literally just antagonize every single person in the comments. And just dumb shit too. He wouldn't even give much thought to it. He would just put down some dumb shit. Because how can you really make fun of someone if you don't even really know them? If you know them, I think I would take more offense if it was somebody that like I actually knew and had like a point of criticism against me as a human. That would hurt me. Like that would actually hurt me. But like a stranger, I was like, I don't know how they don't think that they're not going to get blocked. That's what kind of amuses me out of the whole thing. Like, how can you not think that you're going to get blocked like that? I was like, are there some streamers out there that like to battle? I was like, that's not me. Like, I'm not looking to get on here and battle people. I'm about the good vibes. I'm about the good vibes. I change my name like my underwear every 7 days. Hello, nurse. My wife is a nurse. Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for being a husband to a nurse. I'm sure that that's not easy. I know it wasn't easy for any of the dudes I've been with. Just kidding. I don't wear underwear. He didn't notice your beautiful smile. He didn't. Now he'll never know. I'm hoping if I block them from this, does it block them from all of my videos that I post? Because I don't want them to see my face. The people I block, they don't deserve to see this ever again. Unless he fucking trolls into somehow my other Instagram or something. We'll find a way in. I'll have to block him on there too. Social media and the internet has ruined the world. Absolutely. I say that on here all the time. Which reminds me I probably need to get off. Okay. That brings me to... Depends on whether your underwear is asleep. I wish you could have y'all in a room. We would all have a party right now. Okay, but let's get to... I do actually want to talk about my Amish pie tour today because it moved me a little bit. So I am from central Pennsylvania originally. I'm from York. We're adjacent to Lancaster. Lancaster has the highest amount of Amish in the country. And it was the first settlement of the Amish from Germany. You know, these people are from Germany. They call them Pennsylvania Dutch. Dutch is not like Dutch as in Netherlands. Dutch is the other word for like Deutsch. So like they're the Pennsylvania Deutsch. I'm German. I'm basically full German because I'm from Pennsylvania on both sides. And we tend to not be like very like proud of our heritage because obviously there was like some Nazi things happening. There was like bad things happening in Germany. So we're not like very into our ancestry, our culture, our heritage because of the bad connotations that the Germans have. So what we have is this Pennsylvania Dutch culture, which is a take on, you know, what was brought, you know, from Germany and everything that is, you know, located in my region, central Pennsylvania. And I experienced that up until 13, and then we moved to Florida. So in Florida, you get a lot of Cubans, you have a lot of Puerto Ricans. So I took to that heritage a lot more and had Hispanic friends. So I dove into their cultures because I just saw that as being like more vibrant and more of like a happy culture versus like a Nazi culture. And Germans are very like plain, at least in this area. Very plain, very like hardworking individuals. They believe in a lot of like tough love and just those would be the main words that I would describe it. So when we moved down to Florida, everything was much more like colorful and diverse. And I was really drawn to that because it was definitely not how I was brought up in Pennsylvania. So I definitely gravitated towards those cultures. But now, coming back to Pennsylvania now as an older person, whatever, I was a little bit more curious. I was curious as to, and I had done like an Amish tour when I was 18. And they basically set up like a fake school, a fake house, and somebody had positioned things in that home to make it look like, you know, the Amish were living there. And they basically did the tour that way. And would educate you on how they lived and stuff like that. So when I signed up for this pie tour, I was just Googling. I was Googling things to do for Valentine's Day in the area because I didn't want to sit at home. And the pie tour came up and I was like, oh, I'm all about the pie. I was like, of course, let's do this Amish pie tour. So yeah, today I went ahead and did it, and I knew that we would visit 3 different homes. And I guess it didn't click at the time. Like I would actually be in an actual person's that was actually Amish home. And you would get 2 slices of pie at each home, and they would give you recipe cards so that you could make it at home. And I got there, and I'll be making a vid of this later and posting it on TikTok. But I get there, and I was like 2 minutes late. So I go into the room, and like their farmhouse, and they did this so well, by the way. I would recommend this to anybody. And there's a lot of things to do in central Pennsylvania, things that I didn't appreciate when I was younger. First of all, we have excellent soft pretzels. Oktoberfest is so fun. They have such cute little festivals everywhere. You got Hershey Park. You got Amish country. York, there's not as, it's a mid-sized town. I can't say I was from a small town. This is all very like mid-size. Like people know Lancaster. And if Brian's still on here, he definitely knows Lancaster. And so yeah, I show up and I'm a couple minutes late. So they have everyone in this room, and I was like, I betcha I'm going to be the only solo person in here. And granted, I was the only solo person. So I just sit down next to somebody. The presenter kind of told you about a little bit of the culture. And I was like, you forget that like Amish is like a bona fide culture. And I think when I was growing up, we just looked at the Amish culture as like a novelty. Like, oh, look, there's the Amish. They're in their wagon. They got their horse. How cool. But just like a point and look type of thing. Not making fun of them, but just being like, oh, look at that. And not really understanding their way of life. There was a curiosity there, but you would see them at the markets. We would go to the markets. They would always have the whippy pies, the baked goods, the cinnamon rolls, whatever. A lot of them are bakers, and you knew that they were into like carpentry. So they would sell a lot of like handcrafted like wood goods, like these really nice ass chairs. Like I said, if anyone was going to build, I talk about lumberjacks on here all the time. I was like, I want my lumberjacks to be trained by the Amish, because the Amish build good shit. And I need quality. So my lumberjacks need to be trained by the Amish. And they just have, a different way of life. But like I said, it was more of like a point type of thing rather than being immersed in their culture. And I didn't know that was going to happen today. So we toured like this fake home, as most of the tours would do there. I learned a little bit more than what I would have listened to back when I was young. I was more invested into learning about the culture, because that's, a fun thing for me. I like learning about other people's cultures more than what I did back then. All I knew was like my, like I said, I grew up in a very non-diverse area of the country until I moved to Florida. And after we were done with the tour of like the fake home, we get onto like these buses, and the shuttle things like took you into like real life Amish homes. And we visited 3 of them. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't know that this was going down, but I was like, okay. I was like, this is kind of cool. And the lady was very knowledgeable, and answered a lot of, I was like, what about like healthcare? Like, cause they don't believe in they believe in being in the world, but not with the world. So they can't use electric. So when you went inside these homes, you literally saw, and I was kind of like, I don't know why I was surprised. I was like, I know these people like are good woodworkers, but the homes were like beautiful. I was like, how can they afford this? Selling the baked goods and shit. Unless they make a shit ton of money. They sell a lot of like playground equipment for kids, and like little like play sets outside, which all look amazing, by the way. A lot of them like have like they breed dogs. So they breed dogs, they farm. Apparently their cash crop is tobacco. A lot of them do dairy, corn, and yeah, the woodworking and the baking. They sell their shit at the markets for a decent, it's pretty like good quality stuff for not much money at the markets around here. And yeah, so you went to these three and like you got to like talk to them one-on-one, and they're like kind of shy, but pleasant. They're like real people. And they have an accent that you can't like quite put your finger on, but apparently they learn German as like their primary language, and then their second language is like English, but they speak Pennsylvania Dutch, which is not technically German and it's not technically English. And it's weird. I was trying to soak up all that I could. But they definitely have like their own accent going on, and the kids, learning about all of the customs. You saw DeWalt batteries above every light in the house. The heating in the homes comes from water, so they heat the floors. Like they're not connected to any of the power grid. They pay taxes, but they can't get Social Security. The medical and dental insurance is a co-op. So they have a co-op with everyone in their Amish community that they all put money into. And they can't drive. So they have to hire a driver if they need to go to a medical visit that's not within like a horse range. So they all have horses, and that's how they get around. And they all have a bunch of kids. They all have like 4 to 12 children. And even the homes we visited, like the kids were running around, or not running around, but they were definitely like around and like a little shy themselves. All the boys had like bowl cuts. And I questioned about the dental insurance because a lot of like the teeth weren't, great. The teeth weren't great. But who needs to have great teeth? I was like, fuck it, if they can get men, why can't I get it? I was like, my teeth aren't that jacked. I was like, surely I should be able. But maybe, the culture, maybe I should be Amish. And then at 18, I forget whether it's 16 or 18, and they do like that Rumpelstein or whatever they call it. And then they allow like the kids to go out into the real world, and then they have to like make a decision whether they want to be truly Amish or not. And then once they commit to the church, then they have to be Amish forever. And if they fuck up, then they're shunned. And then they have to ask for forgiveness to come back. And the lady was saying that they'll always be forgiven. Every single time. But if you want to leave the church, then you're excommunicated. After you devote yourself to the church, you've made that decision. Now you want to leave the church. Now you're excommunicated. And they have like a birthing, like I saw like which you guys will see like kind of on the vids I took. They have like a birthing place, and you actually can go to the hospital to like have a child, or you can go to the birthing center with midwives. They have to all wear very plain outfits, like all of it's like, and I was like, I get it. She was like, their values are minimalism, that no person is more important than another, that they want to be very plain, and that isn't an offensive comment to them, that they want to be plain because they don't want to stand out. They don't want to put effort into individualism because they want their hearts to focus on the right things and, in their heads and, all of these things. And I was like, there was some concept here. There were some concepts that I could kind of get behind. And it made me think a little bit more. And I was a little bit moved. The lady tour guide, I was like, they had some freeze-dried fruit and like a loaf of... They were also like actively selling things along with the pie. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, do they take cards? And I was like, I think that's a dumb question. And she's like, no, they don't take cards. And she was willing to the tour guide lady was just willing to give me $16 to buy this fucking loaf of sourdough and the freeze-dried fruit as if it was nothing. And I was like, shit, I was like, $5. $5 to me nowadays is a lot of money. But she like really like entrusted me, like, it's okay if I don't get paid back for this. Like, I support you wanting to support the Amish. And I was like, that lady was super kind. And I was like, well, do you take Venmo? I was like, do you take any? She didn't have any apps, you know, on her phone. So I had to go to Target to an ATM, and I came back with $20, and I gave her the rest as tip. But she literally did not expect that money back from me, and she was just willing to hand it. And I was like, my God. I was like, anytime you feel like you're in like your own fucking head, you're in a rut, you feel like a little bit paranoid, you feel like let down by the world, whatever it is. This is what I always told like my mental health patients. I was like, and what I actively tell myself, I literally take my own shit. You know, I'm not just saying shit just to say it. It's because I honestly believe it. But anytime you feel that way, just put yourself in a group setting. Put yourself out in the world, because what you think the world is trying to, you know, you feel let down. But you actually put yourself in the world, you'll realize that there's more people that are, you know, willing to connect with you and take an investment in you as a person, and are just genuinely kind humans. And then, but you won't know that unless you're putting yourself out there. So all that to say is, the more we're behind a screen, and you know, we got the trolls on here, like you had me deal with earlier, but you actually put yourself out in the real world, you'll notice that there's a lot of kindness out there. And I like to do that from time to time. I don't have a ton of money right now, but that was certainly an act of kindness today from that lady. They're billionaires. I was like, these homes, you guys, are super, and I was like, fuck. I was like, first of all, the cabinetry was top notch. The floors were amazing. I was like, these bitches are rich. Did you see movie stars? I didn't see movie stars, but they said that movie stars did go to this. I don't know why they put that down on their little pamphlet thing, but the pamphlet that they gave us was like, oh, celebrities love to come here. It's like, I guess celebrities are intrigued at Amish life. Did you run out of wine? Yes, I did run out of wine. And it sucks because I don't know what I'm going to watch tonight, because I think I'm done with Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. And I just finished the episodes of Love is Blind from the new season that's out. And they don't put the new episodes up until Wednesday. But I think that I need to get caught up on Love is Blind France. Which, by the way, Love is Blind Germany kind of got my head going. I was like, Love is Blind Germany? Like, those dudes were like, first of all, they were hot. Second of all, they were like emotionally intelligent. I was like, maybe I should get like in tune with my own culture. I was like, should I be going to Germany right now? I was like exploring my heritage. But yeah, they talked a lot about like Pennsylvania Dutch culture, and I was like, actually, this is a culture that I can kind of get behind. I was like, I should not be ashamed of where I came from. I was like, there's a lot of good here. Because I had always thought of like my heritage as like very plain, very vanilla, very uninteresting. But I was like, actually, there's a lot of like wholesome elements happening. And the judgy part, yes, there is a lot of like judgy going on in this area that you wouldn't get in some other areas. But every culture has its like good and bad parts. But I was like, actually, there's the foundation of this culture is, I have to think about that for a second because I want it to come out eloquently. The foundation of this culture, yeah, as with most, is peace and love. And they, you know, they don't want to stand out because they don't believe that one person's better than another. And I think that belief that no person is better than another is kind of a good message. And I think one that we could all get behind. I mean, I'm the queen, but, you know, I'm not Amish. My culture's my own. I was like, this is forest culture. I was like, I'm queen. But the message that one person is not intrinsically better than another is kind of awesome. Have you ever seen them move a barn? I have seen them put like a roof on a barn. I haven't seen them move the like entire barn before, and there was like 15 of them, 15 to 20 of them up on the roof. Corey Lewandowski required to get both his wife and Christine Noah flowers today. I have no idea who those people are, William Tell. My family left there in 1832. So, Germany? You reminded me of Hershey Park. Do you like Hershey Park? I think Hershey Park is a wonderful time. I went there for like their Christmas Wonderland thing, and I was like, this is super cute. You get to like meet the reindeer, and we rode the roller coasters. This wasn't this past year, but I think like the Christmas, maybe like 3 or 2 years ago. And I was like, this is so cute. And you get to do like the tour of the chocolate and shit. Who doesn't like chocolate? I mean, it's not Ghirardelli, but it'll do. That Cubano, yes. And cafe con leche. See, and here's the thing. If you live in Tampa, you're going to need to sample Cuban cuisine, you know? And that was so fun for me. I love Cuban food. I love Puerto Rican food. There's a lot of Cubans and Puerto Ricans there. How can you not be in that culture? You know, but we think of like Pennsylvania culture as like just fucking boring. And yeah, some of it is. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's something. You see the fucking, I want you guys to look at like the jarred aisle, you know, the next time you're at the supermarket, you'll see Pennsylvania Dutch branded foods. And I was like, you know what? I'm from there. You know, that's something to be proud of. Yeah, it's not like something fancy and spicy, you know, from South America. But it's exotic in its own right. Like I said, I gotta go to Germany, I suppose. Germans are stern. They are. Germans are, like I said, Love is Blind kind of changed my perception because I was like, these boys are emotionally intelligent. I was like, the German Americans, you know, are very, very tough love, not about showing emotion at all. Believe, you know, like your life is devoted to work, which obviously I don't fit that mold at all, which is why my family does. I'm the black sheep. I'm the black sheep of the family. Everyone else in my family has taken the traditional route. I'm literally the only one. So I am curious as to what they think of my videos. He's speaking. I took German for a year when I lived here. I think in 7th grade was my last grade here. And then I switched to Spanish when I moved down to Florida. But I did take I did take German for a year before I moved. Because obviously it's prevalent here, so they offered it. I spent 2 years in Germany. What did you think of it, Leaf? Your mom is Pennsylvania Dutch. Yeah, apparently, like, there's a distinction between, like, the plains and the fancies of the Pennsylvania Dutch. I thought that was super cool to learn about. Dutch apple pie. Who doesn't love that? That's even in, like, my Pie Academy book that I got. And I was like, I'm from, you know, like, you just think about it. And you're like, you know what? It's kind of cool. Shoe fly pie was my favorite from today, by the way. And even when my friends came up here to visit, when we were all 18, we took a road trip up to Pennsylvania so they could see like where I came from and stuff. And my one friend was like obsessed with the shoe fly pie. And like I had kind of taken it for granted. I was like, oh yeah, this is just, you know, the pie that Lancaster has to offer. And like all of the things that like Lancaster had to offer. You almost like take it for granted when you're younger, but seeing that excitement on like somebody else's face, like, oh my god, shoe fly pie is like the greatest pie that ever was. And you're like, oh, it's kind of nice when somebody thinks that like your area is cool. I would love to take somebody on a tour here. I think, you know, aside from me burying phones, I think someone's gonna win the lottery with me. Especially in the state that I am now, because I don't think I would probably bury phones anymore. I think you're just going to get dumped. If I'm at the point in a relationship where I am even thinking about burying your phone, it's not a good relationship. We're not vibing anymore. We're not vibing anymore, and I'll probably just dump you. I think back in the day, I was afraid to dump anybody. Because I always thought that something was like salvageable. But instead, I would bury the phone. It's like, no, let's just break up. Okay, blocks them in real life. People show up. Okay, good. Yeah, Robert really fucked up today. He really fucked up. I can't believe, like, it's a... Yeah, he thought that I would let that one slide. No. We don't let shit slide on Forest Queen energy. She's right and I'm wrong. That sounds like, you know, I don't know why, guys. It's such a simple thing. I think for me personally, the way I am with my friends, I will let them be right. Whatever point I have, what does it even matter? What's the point in arguing my point? I'm just going to annoy my friends. And I don't want to lose that friendship. However, in a relationship, that's a whole nother level. I don't argue with my friends. I'll let them be right. I'll let them be right. They're a lot more convicted on their opinions than I am. I'll let them be right. I still think I'm being funny, and they still think I'm being serious, and they'll try to like, oh, Lauren, you shouldn't do that. I was not being serious. But if I was, you don't have to be the person to tell me I'm wrong. You don't have to. I say that on here a lot. I was like, everyone has a fucking opinion. I was like, if you guys did what I'm doing, if anyone else's streams, I was like, you're going to be put in your place fairly quickly. You think you're coming up with some like crafty ass fucking jabs, you know, how about you have your own live stream? Then you'll find out it ain't easy. I'm loving all this like Pennsylvania Dutch talk though. Her Hispanic is better. Probably is. Cubans, you know, who doesn't love a good like a Spanish culture? Who doesn't love a good salsa? I don't even know how you German dance. What do you do? They had us, what did they have us do in middle school and elementary school? Just the fucking line dancing stuff. I was like at Oktoberfest, I know that they have like the horns and shit. That's all I know. I could go for a Cuban sandwich. That would have been a good Valentine's Day night dinner. Instead, I had those 2 eggs and that little whoopie pie. Yeah, Rumspringer. Yeah, I'm still forgetting whether that's at 16 or 18. I didn't see any teenagers in the homes I went into today. I just saw like little kids for the most part. Don't call me Shirley. It would have been interesting to see like a teenager. I'm 29. Good, we need some Gen Z on here. You said you're 29, then you're 18. Oh my god. Oh, hey, Erin. Happy Valentine's Day. Erin, are you dating anyone right now? What's your status? Cuban restaurants are in Ybor City. Yes. Oh, I know Ybor City very well. I think I said on here on one of the other chats, like I was a full-on clubber. If you know the amphitheater, you know Prana, the castle. I talked about castle a lot on one of the live streams. I was hitting up all of the clubs. Now it's kind of more like daytime based. It's not as crazy as when, you know, it was back in my heyday. That was always fun. There's always a bunch of like random chickens running around. And they have a nice like Greek restaurant there. We would always like get pizza after like the clubs. That was a lot of fun. I love Ybor City. I just want to like, I want to smoke a cigar. I want to go to Ybor City, go to like a tapas restaurant, whatever. It's just like I could really just, you know, do like a nice Cuban sandwich right now. I love that culture. I love Gasparilla. I love Tampa. Tampa was a great time of my life. A great time of my life. I had to move away because I had gotten out of the abusive relationship. That took me away from my city. But that has brought me to other, you know, brought me to other places. Columbia restaurant is the best. It is the best. Yeah, Jaxie, listen to nobody because Columbia is the best restaurant. However, if anyone else knows Tampa, do we know Burns? But I don't think you'll be able to get in because it's very like strict on their reservations. But the dessert room is on a walk-in basis. And the dessert room is pretty fucking cool. Presidents, celebrities go there. It's expensive, but it's actually not that bad. Comparatively speaking. And the dessert room, you have like your own like little, it's very old school, and they give you like a cubby, and it's very like romantic. It's very private, and you have a person, depending on what night you go, there's usually somebody like playing the piano. It just feels like very romantic, and I would love going there. I've only gone there maybe like 4 times with the guy that I was seeing. One of the dudes I was seeing, but I loved going there. It was such a good time. It gave me an excuse to dress up and like be a lady, and sometimes I just want to be a lady, and that like it made me feel like I was in a movie. And I love anyone who like can play the piano. I feel like anyone that plays a musical instrument is it's romantic. I'm scrolling up. Does your car have a motor? Barely. It's on its last leg. I drive a 2016 Honda Accord with 260,000 miles. Are you Pisces? No, I'm Libra. Amish or Mormon? Yeah, we went to the Amish, but I feel like, so the Amish can drink and they can smoke. It just can't be like, they have certain rules as to what you can buy from outsiders and what they encourage you make yourself. And a lot of Mormons, like that's kind of like the same thing. It's like they encourage you to do everything that you can yourself. I don't know. They told us at the tour that the Amish has taken a literal view on the Bible, and that this is what they came up with. And it's so interesting, like all of these interpretations of the Bible. And I don't really like, I'm agnostic, so I don't really like, the Bible isn't my Bible. But it's so fascinating, like how you can take one book, as with most books. I don't know why this is surprising, but any book, my book that I wrote, I'm sure you're going to get different opinions on. You can have a book and have a million different perceptions and opinions on it. So why are we all like fucking confused that everyone has like a different perception on this Bible? Why is that confusing? I thought that was pretty profound, by the way. Frankfurt. I'm hungry. Okay, I'm probably going to need to get off of here soon. But I did want to talk about the Amish visit because I felt like that was a good message it's a good message to always be like, yeah, like inclusive to other cultures, and see the good that the other cultures bring to the world, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't agree with it. There's something to like there. I guarantee you, about every single culture there's some piece of good there that can, and some piece that you can resonate with, that you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of what I believe in too. And today, honestly, that piece for me was honestly, yeah, the belief that nobody's like better than another, except me. No, I'm just playing. But the off the gridness was like, oh, I was like, this kind of like is giving like Lauren's camping style. Like I like being off the grid, away from the world sometimes, and those off the grid people are its own culture. They just kind of want to be a little bit removed. We're so stimulated in this society, and I think some people get it. I think a lot of people are actually getting it, but they're not doing anything about it. We're so stimulated. Think about all the shit that you scroll through in a day's time that stimulates you. And then you fucking turn on the TV, stimulation. You know, you're fucking everything. Every piece of media that takes you out of your own immediate world and gives you these other worlds to like look into. And like, wait, hold up. Like, what about our world? Like, what about the world that's here? What about my 10 by 10 perimeter? What is wrong with that? Why do I need to constantly be stimulated with thousands of other worlds? And, it's a good question. It's a good question. Because I find it nice to go to those other worlds physically, and experience that. The fact is that it's kind of expensive. It's kind of expensive. So that's a way to peer into these other worlds. But if we're talking about social media, what is the good in looking into all of these fucking garbage ass live streams? A lot of them, okay, I won't go into trash mode, but there's a lot of garbage on social media. Specifically, there is some good. I think when you're pulling in other worlds and cultures, and we're taking it as a learning experience, I think that's good, and that's what I want to be a part of. But if you're just going on there for some of the dumbass shit that's going on, why? But we get drawn in. And if we over dopamine ourselves, we're not going to even have pleasure anymore, because we're so over dopamized. We're not even going to have pleasure in the simple things anymore. So I find it totally crucial to my well-being to step out and be off the grid for months at a time, apparently. I feel like that's when I'm the fucking happiest, is when I'm off the grid for months at a time. Then you learn what's really important. Camping. It's all about camping. It's all about hiking. That's how you get yourself off the grid. Because when you don't have service, you don't have a choice. And this shit's addicting, If you have service, you're tempted to go online and check things. But you're not tempted when you literally don't even have the capability. Let's see what people talk about that, and then I'll get off. Polka. Yes, it was the polka. Yeah, I was like, I knew that they were doing some kind of dance, but yeah, it was the fucking polka. Yeah, Burns Steakhouse. I know my girlfriend broke up with me in December. Okay. Aw. I'm sorry, Aaron. Yeah, it's not that long ago. You're still probably a little bit healing from that. I don't know what's worse, the one being broken up with or the one doing the breaking up. I'm not sure which is worse. I think it's just sad. Everything ending has an element of sad to it. They told me, I mentioned on here before, they said to look at every past relationship as though it's a beautiful painting on the wall, because that's what you want to hold in your heart. Like I said, the one dude that fucked up my life, I was like, I can't have him as a beautiful painting. But I can pretty much find the good that there was in some of the other dudes and just put that painting on the wall. And then make that the walls of my heart. I don't want to be stuck with the other stuff. It's not good. It's normal though. You know, you can't help but fuck them. Yeah, fuck them. I'm an atheist. I thought I was atheist at one point, and then I saw the term, like, when you're just finding out like what you are, and like I saw the term agnostic somewhere, and I read it, and I was like, that describes. I was like, that feels like it's how I feel on the inside. And now I'm all about Mother Earth. I was like, that's kind of my jam. But my personal belief is I don't really know until I'm gone. I'll let you guys know what happens. We have a lot of Amish farms. Yes, in upstate New York. I have seen them there near the Finger Lakes. I love the Finger Lakes, by the way, because I'm a wine girly. No one can answer. I don't know who wrote the Bible. Who wrote it? Does anyone know? May I follow you? Yes. The Bible is an interpretation of an interpretation of an interpretation of an interpretation. Nobody knows. I don't know. 3 Amish houses, 2 pieces each. What were the 6 pies? Okay, so the pies: shoe fly, blueberry, pecan, apple, cherry, and like this like pumpkin custard. Obviously the best one was shoe fly pie though. Only because you have a slight resistance. I have gotten that sometimes, Sandra Bullock. Especially when I was waiting tables. Social media can be very untrusting. I wouldn't trust anything on here. I wouldn't trust a damn thing. Not one damn thing. Unless it's me. I don't watch TV. Although I like Love is Blind though. And I actually, like, funny enough, like, ironically, especially because we talked about, like, Mormonism and stuff, like, I like The Secret Lives of the Mormon Wives. That's another, like, trash reality show I watch. Anyone tell you that you're beautiful today? Didn't think so. Better luck tomorrow. Thank you, Time Cop. Time Cop must be a Floridian himself because he's got a marlin as his logo. Why pray to an entity that you can't physically see? I don't know what the religious folk would have to say about that. You know why I like Mother Earth? The idea of Mother Earth is because you really can physically see it. The trees. I know people call me a fucking tree hugger, but literally, that is the purest thing of life. If you're gonna pray to something, why not pray to the trees? I was like, you can see the trees. You can see the trees. I can guarantee you that. Seriously, I enjoyed me today. Oh, thank you, No. I'm glad some people like it. I actually want people to be entertained by my content. That is what I'm striving for. And I think that this is a word that's running amok in social media over the past few days that I've found out. We all know what nonchalant means. Do we know what chalant means? And now chalant has become a power word. Like, let's not be nonchalant. Let's be chalant. Let's fucking care. Let's not act like we don't care. Let's actually care and make that cool. So that's like a movement. According to social media. I was like, I can get behind that. Have you ever seen any cryptids while camping? What are cryptids? I wish you weren't so shy. But believe it or not, in real life I am. I can be. The sun is my god, yeah. Sun's nature. The moon. The trees. The ground. The flowers. Everything that the earth provides so much goodness. And that's really why I want to become like a forest bathing guide. Is because there's legit studies, and beyond the studies, I feel it. I feel it in my core when I'm in nature. The power that it does for me. Cryptids, Bigfoot and talking. There's a lot of talk in the hiking community. I'm curious to see what the PCT goers say about like Bigfoot and Sasquatch and stuff like that. People do honestly believe that they exist. I think it'll be interesting to hear like the through hikers take. I think aliens. I mean, what do we think about aliens? My mom was half Native American, grew up hunting and fishing. Yeah. I don't know why some people like hate on hunting. It's like, if you're hunting to eat, I don't see any, like, why are people having a problem with that? I totally believe in aliens. Yeah. I think that there actually is like more evidence of like aliens than a god. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's some legitimate like UFO sightings happening. Think about it. I mean, if we're talking about physical evidence, I think that if we were to do a deep dive, there would be some legitimate evidence happening. Some say that we were actually spawned from the Mormons. Yeah, I think isn't that their whole belief? And I never got into that with my ex's family on like the roots of Mormonism. Oh no, that's Scientology. I'm getting the shit confused. Scientology is the one where we come from aliens. Is that it? I know that's a big deal in Clearwater. Trust me, in Ybor, if y'all know, like we were talking about Ybor earlier, I didn't know what they were doing. They're like, oh, take a survey. And I was just like, oh my God. And like you look at the bottom of the survey, it's like the Church of Scientology. And me and my friend filled out this like half an hour survey one day after clubbing. Or I think it was before clubbing. And we're like, oh fuck, they're trying to recruit us into the fucking Church of Scientology. What aliens like ice cream? Oh, you mean like what flavor would they like? We can't be the only life in this universe with all the billions of planets. It only makes sense that there's more than what is just on Earth. It only makes sense. And I think they talked about this on one of sometimes they have like ranger-led programs, which is a total like honeypot. If you guys go camping at any of these national parks, or even state parks, they have ranger-led programs. They're free. And a lot of them are informative. People that are like super passionate about nature, and you actually like get to learn cute things. And you know, they do a lot of like telescope viewings, and one of them they went into depth about stuff like that. They're heavily looking right now. They're heavily, you know, as we all know, like they're trying to find out for sure that one day, maybe not in our lifetime. Human flavored ice cream. Yeah, the Clearwater Scientologists. Yeah, that was a big deal. So I'll be going back to Florida. It's already 9. Oh my God. I'm going back to Florida in March. That'll be nice. I could use some beach time. I could really use like what What's an amethyst? I could talk to you for, I feel like I could talk to myself for hours, and trust me, I do. I feel like there's conversations playing in my head, which is kind of nice that my mom has a dog. I can have full conversations with the dogs. I imagine what they would be like saying back to me, and I do talk to them as if they were communicating to me in the way that I think that they would. Poor Scully. If anyone saw Scully earlier, he listens a lot. He might actually be sitting outside the door right now. Sometimes he doesn't claw at the door. He just sits outside and waits for me. We would have great continuity. It's a lot more fun to play around if there's people commenting. I think when I first started this live stream, there weren't many people coming on. And I was literally just, thankfully I had, practice. I used to do these long Instagram stories. I was an oversharer. I'll always be an oversharer. That's just who I am. I have been an oversharer since the internet existed. You cannot take that away from me. This is who I am. I will overshare. And you know what? Some things people might just be able to resonate with, and it might actually help. Because sometimes when you can find things you resonate with in another person, it just makes you feel a little less alone. And to take that full circle for Valentine's Day, we are not alone. Goodness is all around us, even on fucking here. I'm the only good one on here, but goodness is all around, and you just have to step outside, step out of your own world, and, strangers, even if it's not even if your chosen family, your friends are fucking pissing you off, your family's pissing you off. But I think you can turn that around too. Get them a gift basket. Kill them with kindness. If they're pissing you off, you get them a gift basket. See how they react. Spend $10 at Dollar Tree. Buddhism as a belief system emphasizing harmony. Well, I think that's all things, harmony, peace, and unity. I feel like that's all things we can get behind. I have not heard of the rake. I have not. But yes, let's sum this up so that Lauren could have a little treat before she goes to bed. I might be pulling out the rest of that shoe fly pie. Yeah. I think I already said it. Goodness is all around. I encourage you all to get a gift basket together for your worst enemy or your best friend, or maybe somebody in between. But gift basket's always a win. Always a win in my eyes. Pie, always a win. Noteses. Like I said, the rule is at least it has to be a page. If you write somebody a kind note that's a page long, you win. And even if you don't win with them, you've won. Trust me, you've won. And if you don't feel like you've won, I'm going to tell you that you won. Anybody that has, nobody has ever taken the time to write me more than 2 sentences in my life, in my entire life, even though I've written paragraphs for all the people that I care about in my life. I have never gotten back more than 2 plain sentences. So let that sit. Because you know what? I'm not woeing and mowing about it. I don't even know if that's a word, mowing and woeing. I've won. I win. I care. Caring is winning. Winning is caring. I write erotic, romance novels. That's kind of the career I want to get into. Goodbye. Happy Valentine's Day.